Hello, and welcome back to Pull for Initiative, the Dungeons and Dragons live stream where the audience influences the story. Hi, my name is Ben, and/or Benjamin, as I'm known on the internet, and with me, I have Ben, otherwise known as MB Banshee, who will be playing today as Lisa Flores. Go ahead and say hi to everyone, Ben.
I'm going to beg you. I'm going to get on my knees and beg you never to do that again.
Never do what again?
Never do that again, please.
Never do what again?
First of all, ew. What a yucky way to start this.
What? I don't know. What? Sorry, I just had something in my throat. It happens sometimes.
That was yucky and bad.
I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, welcome back, everyone. Welcome back, Mint, to Pull for Initiative. Does everyone remember what happened last time on Pull for Initiative?
Bro, you're going to make me cry.
Would you like to give us a quick recap on everything that happened?
No.
No?
We found my friends again. They're all back now. All of them.
Okay.
Pretty much all of them. Pretty much all of them. I don't think there's anyone, well, there's probably still some people missing.
You're going to say, I don't think there's anybody important missing, and then some fan favorite character is not going to be there.
Are there? I don't think there's a fan. Okay, it doesn't matter. Anyway, my dad was there, and I've been trying to prepare for this, but I don't know how this is gonna go.
Yeah, well, you set us up for this. So let's just pick up right where we left off. You have boarded the Dredgenaut.
Wait, a large sick name for a boat. Really good.
The Dredgenaut?
Yeah, I liked that a lot.
I was very proud of that when I came up with it.
Yeah, it was good.
Thank you. So you did see Lexi, Flint, Stacy, Becky, Jay, and we left off when a sixth person stepped out. Your father.
Okay, first of all, fuck you. God, yeah, I don't know. I think that Lise has known for a little while that her dad was possibly still alive. That letter that she found on the Shifting Tempest and the dreams that she has had. And then I think she talked to the Coven of the Sacred Phoenix and they were like, yeah, he was here. So she knows that he's alive, but I think that, which has been apparent in many previous episodes, she has been like putting that somewhere very deep and not thinking about it because I think that there's just been so much going on that she's like, I don't have time to process this. It'll be fine. And now it's not fine. And I think that she is kind of like shocked, but not in a sense of like, she's she's surprised to see him. And it's almost also surprised that like she knew he was alive, but seeing him is like a whole different ballgame. And I think that she probably just God. Yeah, I think that in this moment, I think it's like,
just shock. You're like a deer in headlights.
Do you know when? I think that it's that initially, like it's like, oh God, I wasn't prepared for this. No, hold on.
Okay.
But I think that I think that she, it's that kind of staring where it's like a million things are going through her head and none of them are like coherent enough to say. So I think that like she has so much to say, but she can't settle her mind enough to say anything. And I think that it's kind of that like you haven't seen someone in a long time or someone that like you thought was gone, so it's the shock of seeing them, but it's also that fear, that that anxiety of, if I stop looking at him, is he going to disappear? Like, is this real? Or like, you know, kind of that like, especially after everything that just happened with her mom, now seeing her dad again, I think that she is scared. I think that she's immensely happy, but also terrified because I think that she's scared of, well, a lot of things, but I think disappointment and
she's
that
had
fear.
bad familial relationships in the past, and she's worried she's built him up in a way that he can't live up to.
Yes, and also that fear of abandonment. You know,
He is,
So
as you're
I
staring at him, you realize that he's also staring at you, and he seemed like he came out of this cabin all epic and cool, like this epic pirate lord, but he's frozen like a deer in headlights as well, and you notice tears are coming out of his eyes.
Oh yeah, I think that Lise is staring at him and like not blinking. I think that she's not even breathing. I think that she is fully like turned to stone, and her eyes are wide, and so she is crying, and it's from seeing him, but it's also because she has not blinked. Because again, I think that she is scared that if she blinks, he will go away. Like he's like a figment of like her imagination or something. Because I imagine that she's had many dreams of him since he disappeared. She was really young when he disappeared, so he was kind of over, God, the however many fucking years it's been. He's sort of become this like figment, like almost like figment of her imagination. Like, yeah, so I think that she just kind of...
The
she's
entire ship
not breathing, not blinking.
The entire ship has fallen dead silent. No one is saying anything. And it's a, like, painfully long silence until finally your father breaks the silence and says, Lise? Is that you?
I think so.
He wipes his eyes, wipes the tears out of his eyes and blinks and looks at you again. And he takes one step forward.
I don't think she moves. I think that she has blinked and now like there's just a lot of makeup running down her face. But I think that she still hasn't breathed.
How long did she not breathe for?
She's turning a little bit blue.
Give me a constitution check.
Do you really want one? That's a 9.
You're
-1.
starting to feel lightheaded.
Yeah.
You stumble.
Yeah. Well, do I? She's standing very still.
Oh, you stumble because you're lightheaded. You're losing.
Oh.
You're suffocating yourself.
I think that yeah. She kind of goes, like, I think he takes a step toward her, and she kind of is like realizes that she hasn't been breathing. And goes, I think she just starts nodding really aggressively. I think she kind of falls forward and gives him a hug. Just ugly sobbing.
You get the feeling that he was kind of trying to gauge like what the emotion was on your end. But the moment you lurch forward, he immediately lurches forward too and catches you and hugs you almost as tight as a Helga hug.
Oh God. Again, just I think that it's ascended from not breathing, not blinking to crying just so loud and ugly, and like she's like gasping, like she can't breathe. She's crying so hard.
Through tears, he speaks again and he says, "I've been looking for you so long. I was beginning to think I'd never see you again."
I think that she kind of grips the front of his jacket, still crying. She says, "I thought you were dead. Maybe it would have been better if you were dead. Where the hell have you been? Where? How are you? How are you alive? Why didn't you come home?"
He says, "I wanted to. For 15 years, I've been trying to."
I've missed you every day that you've been gone. I needed you. And you left me with her. How could you do that? What was so important that you couldn't come home? That you had to leave me with that monster?"
He says, "The greatest regret of my life was not taking you with me on that day. I thought for sure I would be back in under a week's time for sure, and I could take you away from there. And we'd have our own little farm in Caliban."
Yeah.
Everything went wrong, Lise. Everything went wrong.
Yeah, I'll say. Caliban's not even a country anymore.
He says, "If you'll give me another chance, I have one hell of a story to tell you."
Yeah. You had better. I think that she hugs him again. And kind of...
You guys have not stopped hugging. He squeezes you tighter.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think she actually kind of backs away from him to like... She was staring at him earlier, but I think she wasn't actually seeing him. I think that she kind of actually takes a step back, collects herself a little bit, and like looks at him.
As you look at him, you do see the past almost 20 years at this point have been rough on this man.
Yeah.
Even without hearing the story, you can tell he has been through hell and back. He's got a number of wrinkles on his face he certainly didn't have when you last saw him. His hair has gotten so long and nappy and just stuck together and gross. He has like a beard at this point. He was clean shaven last time you saw him. He's missing one of his legs. His left leg is gone, and a peg leg in its place. This man has absolutely been on a journey.
She says, I guess it runs in the family.
He says, what? Dashing good looks? And puts his fists on his waist.
She says, yes. Most graciously so, absolutely. And I think that it also occurs to her in this moment that her dad is a human man, and he's probably like in his 50s, when probably last time she saw him, he was like in his 30s. So yeah, he looks older. And I mean, she's only a half elf, but you know, there's still that she'll live longer than he will. Well, if she dies of natural causes.
Yeah, let's not jump ahead here. We're not at the end of the campaign yet. It is still fully within Lisa's power to die.
If she is to live her fullest life, she will live longer than him, and I think that kind of settles on her what is that? Is a decade 10 years? Yeah, the almost 2 decades that she has missed out on. And I think she starts to cry again. And she says, I have so many questions. I have so much to tell you. I don't know where to start.
He puts his arm over your shoulder, and then he looks to Jay, and he says, "You've got the deck." And she does knocks her heels together and salutes him, and he says, "Let's why don't we talk about it?"
All right.
And he leads you back to the captain's cabin.
I think Foxbud is like glued to Lisa's like ankles.
As you're walking back to the cabin, he looks down at Foxbud and he says, "Is this the fox you met in the forest all those years ago?"
Yes. I look down at him and I go, he's grown exponentially since then. But yes, this is Foxbud. He has, well, since you left, he has been my most stalwart and precious companion. And
he closes the cabin door behind him and puts a hand down at Foxbud on Foxbud's little forehead. And I think Foxbud takes that as an invitation that, oh, we're friends now. And immediately stands up on his hind legs, putting his forelegs in front of, on your dad's shoulders, and starts licking him all over the face.
He's like,
and he says,
"Oh,
he's very friendly, huh?"
Oh, he likes you. Yeah, no, that's a good sign. If he thought you were a bad person, he would have bitten you.
He's patting him and says, okay, boy, and he's licking him all over his face. It's like, come on, boy, I do need to breathe.
She's like, all right, Foxbud, come on. I'll give you a begging strip.
Remove one begging strip from your inventory as you pull it out, and Foxbud instantly jumps off your father's shoulders and is trying to shove his nose into your bag.
Sorry, there's nothing he loves more than a fantasy begging strip.
He pulls up a chair and sits down and says, well, do you want me to start? Or...
Yeah, that's probably for the best. Why don't you start?
He says, again, I can't say it enough that it was never meant to take this long.
Yeah, I mean, I think that a supply run that's 2 decades long would be a bit of a hassle.
He laughs and says, "I'd be out of a job if it did." And he says, "I hear you're familiar with Lockjaw."
I think she busts up laughing. She goes, "Yeah, familiar. I've got that motherfucker's head on the front of my ship. You could say we're familiar."
He says, "Well, you won't hear any tears from me. If I could have done it, I would have done it a long time ago."
I think she pulls out the note that she found on the Shifting Tempest to Lockjaw from him, and she goes, "Is that so?"
He says, "Yeah. So, I guess I'll start off when we left Tielenrune. You see,
Please.
I was on a contract. I was saving up money to purchase us some farmland in Caliban. I knew that if I took you away from your mother, I'd have nowhere for you to go. And I just wanted what was best for you growing up. So
You didn't have a house? Where did you?
No.
You were from a small town outside Heaven's Cradle, right?
I sold it all.
Oh. Great.
That little shack certainly was not worth raising a child in.
I guess I can't blame you for that.
The point is, I've been saving up for a long, long time. And this contract was one of the highest paying I had ever been involved in. Partially because we were smuggling contraband into Tielenrune.
Great. Lisa's like nodding, but like every image of her dad is being ruined in her head.
Did she have like images in his head of being this just like upstanding citizen or something?
I don't know. She thought he was like a cool guy, which I mean, it depends on what it was, but like, yeah, I don't think that she would have thought that he would do that. At least when she was young.
He says, technically ill-gotten artifacts and collectibles. You know how the elven nobles were.
I think she immediately thinks about how her mom had the feather and how all of this started, and she just goes, I think she kind of like, yeah. Yep. Yeah.
He says, you've got to understand that we're talking thousands of gold per run.
Oh, shit.
It was enough that I would have had a house paid off for us in a week, maybe 2 tops. And so, we got to work. I left. I told your mother we were going to have a talk about everything. And in that talk, I wanted to give you the option to come live with me.
I think I remember that. Or I had a dream about it. Or it is just a memory that I have. But it's in there somewhere.
His cheeks go red a little bit and he says, you were awake for that?
She says, oh, father.
I always thought you went right to sleep after I read you the stories.
She like raises her eyebrows at him. She says, I'm sorry, who raised me? You thought I'm sorry, you thought I didn't stay up all night reading my little books under the sheet with the little fairy light? You idiot.
And he says, and that, about a weekend, is when everything went to shit.
Right.
You see, that's when I was, well, rather my ship, the one I was operating on, was raided by Lockjaw. We were just a small cargo ship, certainly not built for standing up against the shifting tempest. He looks out his window at your ship, and looks back at you and says, nearly everyone died on that raid.
Ooh.
The only reason I survived was because I got luckily unlucky. One of the masts came down, and that was the last thing I saw. I woke up hours later on Lockjaw's ship.
I had a dream about that too, but
He says-
continue.
What?
Oh, I have prophetic dreams and dreams about things that have happened or that are going to happen. You know.
He like gets caught on his words and he says, like, you can see through my eyes?
Well, not like willingly, but like sometimes when I go to sleep, I have dreams about stuff that has happened to people close to me. So yeah, I definitely saw that mast fall on you. That was great. It's like I was there.
He puts his hand on the back of his head and he says, guess I still have to get used to all the Phoenix stuff, huh?
Yeah, by the way, what the hell? Well, we'll get to that in a minute, but...
And he says, and I was lined up on my knees with about 9 other sailors. All of us begging for our lives. They slit 3 of our throats just as a warning. I watched as my comrades died. And then Lockjaw said, make me an offer. He forced us all to beg for our lives, and we began offering knowledge that we had about sailing, trying to essentially build a resume of a sailor. Ultimately, I was the one that was chosen. He made me watch as he killed everyone else. He told me that if I do good service, I'd be allowed to live for the next 15 years and eventually be granted my freedom.
Why 15? That's very specific.
I guess the idea is he wants you to have hope that one day you'll get off his ship.
Well, I'm glad I killed him.
And he says, yeah, I suppose it was naive of me to think for even a second that he would honor it. I kind of saw everything that I saw for our future crumbling before me. And sure enough, I did the best damn work that man ever saw. I busted my ass training up other pirates. I trained so many cannoneers in his service. I increased his profit margin rather, at least tenfold. Which is why he didn't want to get let go of me. 15 years passed, and he still had me in his employ, not showing any sign of letting up. And so, I decided to make him a deal. I would get him in exile into Tielenrune if he gave me a ship and time. Plan was, I was going to use that ship to get you out. And then whatever he did in Tielenrune, I just wanted you out of there.
Oh.
I bargained for the Wicked Walleye. It was a tiny little sloop in his fleet. It would serve me well. It would do what I needed it to do. I could make some quick cash, and I could get you out of there. Problem is, Lockjaw is not a generous man. He did not give me the Wicked Walleye. He gave me something even lesser. He gave me he tries not to laugh, thinking back to it, and he says, "The growling guppy."
Oh. Yeah. Yikes.
He says, "It was the smallest, most pathetic ship in his fleet. It was a week out from being scrapped for lumber.
It's aptly named.
But regardless, freedom was freedom, and it was a ship, and it could still technically sail. So I took it. And I knew the guppy could be valuable. So I worked for another year trying to build up the guppy, trying to repair it. I did small cargo jobs for decent cash. The idea was I would eventually build up enough cash that I could buy myself a few tickets into Tielenrud. I don't know if you're aware of this, but chartering an exile ship is thousands of gold easily.
Yeah, those damn elves are so greedy.
He chuckles and he says, "Yeah, and unfortunately your mom certainly wasn't going to help me with the cash."
Yeah, no, I suppose not. Wait. Did she... No?
I don't think she knew, but I probably could have gotten a letter to her. The problem was, I knew she wouldn't let me get a letter to you. I mean, I had already sent 5, and I never heard anything back.
Oh. But did you write to her? Or no?
I wrote to her, but more importantly, I wrote to you.
Alright, well... I didn't learn how to check the mail until I was like 12. So I don't know what happened to any of those. Did she never wrote to you back?
Not once. The third time I even asked the courier if it had been delivered successfully, and they confirmed it. Correct address and everything.
That bitch.
He says, "Yeah, your mother was never particularly proud of our relationship together."
I think Lise is like really upset. I think that she is like, her nails are digging into her palm. Probably enough to draw blood a little bit.
He says, "Yeah, your mother... I can't say I forgive her, but I can at least say that I can almost understand why she is the way she is."
Well, can you explain it to me? Because I sure fucking can't.
He chuckles and says, "I mean, you've been to Elven Court, and you know how they are. And
Yeah. And I also know why no one should want to be like them."
And he says, "Royalty's all your mother ever had. She's never really
She had us.
accomplished anything on her own."
She had us.
That's true.
And
I
it
think
should
that's
have
part of
been
the
enough for
reason
her.
she resented us.
I think she's thinking back to her how she just saw her mom, and now she's like really kicking herself for not killing her.
He says, "I've thought about it for years. Again, I don't forgive her. And quite frankly, I don't ever want to see her again. All I'm saying is, I think she was twisted since her childhood by the court." It says, "Regardless, 1 year in is when everything changed.
I had started saving up a decent amount of cash, and I had started repairing the guppy quite a bit. And I was convinced that I could get tens of thousands of gold. Plenty enough to get a trip out to Tielenrune, and hell, even get you a ticket if you wanted to leave with me. But then things changed. A year in, particularly nasty storm hit, and I was stranded on the scorching wastes.
Yes, I heard about that as well.
And I had this unexplainable urge, this draw to the caves.
Right.
I couldn't explain it, but it's like my body knew where it had to go.
Wish it was like that for me. What the hell? I did. Artemis had to make me a whole feather compass thing.
He says,
And as I navigated the winding obsidian caves directly into the volcano, I discovered the Cavern of Cinders. I discovered Helga. She spoke in my mind, told me everything, and I kneeled, and I knew that all those legends that my father told me and his father before him told him were true. Our bloodline was directly tied to the Phoenix.
Yeah. I think she kind of brushes her hair out a little bit and she says, I'll say.
your hair is like super shimmery. It like actually doesn't even like fall like normal hair anymore. It kind of like goes
Right.
into the air and kind of like ethereally hangs there for like a split second and slowly falls back down.
Yeah. she's like, yeah. Yeah, you could say that again.
And he says,
Point is, I knew that I needed to also hunt these feathers because your fate was tied to all this. I experienced the strangest sensation of pride and confusion and, I guess, fear. Fear that once I got you back, this was going to take you away from me again. But regardless, I knew it was your destiny. And so I fixed the guppy back up. I set sail again. And during all my runs, I took as many chances as I could, exploring strange, said to be cursed areas, trying to locate feathers. I never had any luck. But regardless, another year in, the guppy was looking fantastic. It was my proudest work that I'd ever put together, and I knew what it was worth. And I had a friend of mine, back from my privateer days, made me an offer that was so damn good. 25,000 gold.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
That would have been plenty to get me back and forth between here and Tielenrune multiple times and even get you a ticket if you wanted. It seemed like finally the nightmare was over, and I took the deal. And that was one of the worst decisions I ever made.
Oh, no.
I was betrayed. He met with me on a much larger ship. He had the gold. He looked at his surroundings, looked at my ship, and realized that, as beautiful as it was, it wasn't going to stand up in a fight against him.
And so he said the words that I'll remember forever. Your ship or your life. And I gave him the ship.
Great.
He didn't have the heart to kill me, I suppose. Coward. And so he stranded me with my crew on the Indomitable Isles. Are you familiar with the Isles?
I've looked at a map, but I don't know that I know anything about them now.
Nasty business. They're called Indomitable for a reason. The creatures that live there, well, we're not just prey to them. Hell, sometimes we're not even worth being considered prey to them. Massive monstrosities. River serpents everywhere. Things that carry poison, venom, razor-sharp teeth. It's a miracle we didn't die immediately.
Lisa in her head is like, I want to go to there.
She hears stuff about monsters and beasts, and she's like, friends?
Yeah. It's like, I bet I could befriend them.
And he says, another year passed, and we desperately clung to life on the Indomitable Isles, looking for any way off. Half the crew died.
Oh.
And then, one day, as if by a miracle, we discovered this massive cave on the ocean front. And we entered it. Water up to our knees, even our waists, at some points. Only to find a massive cavern at the center. A stalagmite. Massive one. Piercing through the water at the center of the cavern. And a ship resting on top of it. The Dredgenaut.
Oh.
It was guarded by a skeletal crew
Makes sense.
who seemed enchanted to continue operating the Dredgenaut even after death. We saw our chance and we took it. We invaded the ship. And they wouldn't let us take it without a fight. Some more of us died. But we ended up fighting them off. And we took the Dredgenaut.
Nice. I have a lot of questions about this ship, but maybe your story will answer some of them, so I will save my questions to the end.
He says, well, yeah, we quickly found out that this was absolutely, in fact, an enchanted ship. During the fight, it went underwater. It fully submerged itself. And the fight continued. Eventually, we did win. And eventually, the high tide gave us an opportunity to sail back out of the cave. And at this point, I wasn't sure how much time I'd lost. 15 years, I knew there was a year or two reconstructing the guppy. I was getting the sinking feeling that maybe you weren't even in Tealenrin anymore. I began raiding Lockjaw's ships. See, it's really hard to prepare yourself for a naval raid when a ship suddenly appears underneath you.
I can imagine.
He chuckles again and he says, Lockjaw never knew what fucking hit him. Now, I wasn't stupid enough to try and take on the Dredgenaut. I knew that not the Dredgenaut. I wasn't stupid enough to take on the Shifting Tempest. I knew the Dredgenaut was not capable of taking it on.
I think Lisa's kind of like, She knows that in this instance, it is like a good thing, but in her head, she's like, yeah, the Tempest would have kicked your ass. My ship is very cool.
And he says, but the rest of the ships in his fleet certainly weren't quite as strong. I made so much cash so quickly. And then one day, while we were raiding one of Lockjaw's ships, everything went as it normally does. We pop up out of the water, we take the ship, we silence the pirates. But then one of them said something. He said these ships no longer belong to Lockjaw. He said these ships belong to the Dread Pirate Phoenix.
Yeah, so about that. You know.
And he says, and I was sure it had to be a coincidence, or maybe he knew who I was and he was trying to get under my skin. But Phoenix, I had to know who that was.
Original, I know.
And he says, and he then said, the Dread Pirate Phoenix was last heading to Heaven's Cradle. And we immediately made our way for Shantytown. We docked, I bought a horse, and I rode through the night, 3 days, non-stop, directly to Heaven's Cradle. When I got there, and he kind of chokes up a little bit, and he says, I saw it. I saw you. But not you. I saw your statue.
Oh, right. I'd nearly forgotten about that.
There you were. I mean, you obviously looked very different from the last time I saw you, but clear as day I'd recognize your face anywhere. And I fell to my knees and I probably looked like a damn fool, but I was crying in the middle of the courtyard. Looking up at this statue, I knew for a fact that you were out there. I just had to find you. I asked someone on the street if they knew who you were, and sure enough, you were famous. Everyone knew about the Chaos Crusaders.
Well,
my little girl was famous. And he pounds his fist on the table.
yeah, some say famous, some say infamous. Tomato, tomato.
And he says, they said it was unveiled only 3 days prior, that you were just in town.
Oh.
And
then I went.
That you had gone to Shantytown.
Right.
I immediately rode out. I had to catch up to you, but sure enough, you were not in Shantytown when I got there.
You could have written me a letter.
I began putting out feelers, asking everybody who knew anything about the Chaos Crusaders where you had gone to. Eventually, I got a tip. The Cursed Crag.
Yeah. You know, that place really, that place really fucked me up.
I got there, and when I arrived, I eventually landed on the Obsidian Brotherhood, as where you had last gone.
Right.
When I entered, there were 2 goblin men yelling angrily about how some woman had just bamboozled them, broken their security.
It was not very hard. Those goblins were so stupid.
And he says, I was seconds away from meeting you again.
I think Lisa's like tearing up. I think she's like getting choked up and like getting a little bit angry at herself that she didn't like wait. Like she couldn't have known, but that she didn't like wait a little bit longer.
And he says, in that damn portal, they didn't know where it went. That was part of the service. You were in the palm of my hand, and I somehow let you slip through my fingers. If I had just been faster, maybe if I had asked the right person at the right time, maybe I could have gotten there faster. I've played those days over in my head so many times. And so, I proceeded from square one. Asked more questions, tried to see if anyone had heard about you. Sure enough, many people in Caliban had. Not your current whereabouts, but I ran into your other friends. The first was Flint. I stopped into Dustport, just scouring each town for anyone who knew your name. And Flint said that he absolutely did know you. And in fact, he wouldn't mind seeing you again. And so he offered to help me look. Said he was getting a bit tired of his town now that his sister was gone.
Yeah, that's fair.
And he says, I kept looking, ended up at Caliban U, met Stacy and Becky, and they also wanted to see you again.
That
Said they had just graduated and you were the most exciting part of their university experience.
Okay, that's fair. That is true and fair.
And eventually, I ran out of leads in Caliban. Went up to No Man's Land. After all, you were the Dread Pirate Phoenix. Surely you had connections there. And sure enough, you did. I met with Jay. And the moment she heard that you were missing, what were her exact words? Something to the effect of, "We've got to find that old scurvy dog."
Yeah, that sounds like Jay.
And she let me know that your prime contact, the main person you worked with, was Lexi. And so, we sailed directly to Shantytown. And sure enough, Lexi had been looking for you for weeks. And she absolutely wanted to join up with us. But it wasn't quite that simple. You see, the war was really ramping up now. When Jay and I left No Man's Land, it was on fire. The Oran Empire had started to invade. They had broken the Caliban Navy's blockade. We proceeded to Shantytown, and I saw orange ships on the horizon. Time was going to be tight. I told everyone if they wanted to disembark now, it was their chance. No one wanted to disembark. And so, we pulled off a risky gambit. I had written Lexi a day before and told her if she needed an escape, that we would be there. We pulled in just under Oren's ships, remerged outside of their blockade, inside Shantytown, on a dock. Mere seconds later, we saw Lexi running to the docks, fleeing Orin soldiers.
Yeah, that sounds like Lexi.
She just barely leaped on board, and we just barely resubmerged before they caught up to her. And we watched as Shantytown burned behind us.
Well, that sucks.
And that leads us up the past 5 years. We spent searching for you, trying to find you, and hitting orange ships when we can, attempting to help the Caliban army when we could. And then one day we hear that the Chaos Crusaders, after 5 long years, have been seen again. That they were back. I couldn't believe it. This was another chance, and I begged Lexi to send one more letter to Oliver. She didn't want to, but she would do it for me. And now here we are.
Oh. That is a lot. That's a lot to take in. I don't know what to say.
Says, you don't gotta say anything. I just want you to know that I never stopped looking for you.
I should have tried harder to look for you. I knew you were alive. I'd been told several times that you were alive, but I didn't want to believe that. It was easier for me to believe that you were dead.
He says, I know. And then he says, I'd be lying if I said there weren't moments that I doubted I'd ever see you again.
Well, you know, when your daughter grows up to be a child of prophecy, it's kind of hard to avoid. I don't know. Kind of hard to avoid traveling and doing a bunch of crazy shit, and yeah. Sorry about that, I guess.
He says, don't apologize. I should have never taken that goddamn job. Hell, I should have asked how the trips were so damn cheap. I should have known they weren't paying Lockjaw's taxes. I should have known. Says, there was a lot of things that if I could have done differently, I absolutely would have.
She says, you were doing them for me. How could I ever be mad about that?
And he smiles and he says, I just realized I've got about, 18 birthdays to catch up on now?
Oh, I wouldn't worry about those, you know. 5 of them I wasn't really around for myself.
He says, well, I'm gonna go ahead and assume I missed the action figures and dollhouses phase. I'm going to assume that I missed the acting out teenager phases.
I'm still in that one a little bit.
He says, "All right, I'll be sure to pick up some black nail polish and eyeliner."
She holds up her fucking fey, like glittery chrome nails, and she says, "We don't wear black, Dad. We wear multi-chrome."
And I think upon you doing that, Foxbud starts hopping up and down and runs in a circle, and you see mist coming out of his form.
Oh, a portal right now? Okay.
He like there's like mist spilling out onto the floor, and he like is like jumping up on his hind legs and pawing at you and trying to lick your face, and then like gets back on the floor and runs around in circles.
Okay, so Foxbud can open portals. I don't know where this one's to. Possibly Tielid Moon.
As your dad sees the fog falling out of Foxbud, he like jolts up and stands up, and the chair falls backwards, and he says, whoa, what's going on, boy?
He's fey, you know. So he's made of mist. You know the mist around Tielenrune? He's made of that specifically. And it just comes off of him sometimes, and he can like open portals to places. I don't know. This one might be going to Tielenrune. I'm not really sure. He just kind of does this sometimes. But yeah. What the hell? Foxbud, what are you doing? Where are we going? What's happening?
The mist is now fully covering the floor and up to your shins, and your dad is like, he's like standing there kind of stiff and like raising his feet occasionally, or his foot occasionally, and his peg leg occasionally, and is just like staring at the floor and going, okay, this is normal. This is normal.
Foxbud, what's happening? Oh, is it okay? Are we going somewhere, or is somebody coming to us? Am I having an audience right now?
He hops up on his hind legs and is jumping up and down excitedly, and the fog is raising more and more. And he like circles you two and kind of like takes a stance like, follow me.
Oh yeah. I hold out my hand for my dad, and I'm like, you're gonna want to hold my hand. Pretty sure if you get lost in this mist, you will never find your way out.
He takes your hand and says, okay.
It'll be fine. This usually goes well for me.
And as the mist is rising up, he like can no longer see the surroundings of the cabin, and he's like, is the ship gonna be okay? People are still on the Dredgenaut.
Yeah, no, the ship's not going anywhere. We are going somewhere. As
Foxwood starts leading you through the mist, you hear a familiar voice in the mist as Bedlam says, "Oh, delightful! We're taking Daddy to see the friends!"
Oh, God. Dad, I have to tell you. I have a lot to tell you. I haven't even begun to tell you my part of the story before any of this started happening. But the first thing I think I should probably tell you.
Tell him about me! Tell him about me, Elise! Tell him about your best friend in the whole wide world!
Father, do you see this mark on the back of my neck here? You've never
show him.
First of all, you've never seen this before, right?
And he says, "No." Well, oh, that looks like it hurts.
Oh, it hurt real bad. It doesn't hurt anymore, though. So, you know. When I got it, it was the horrible blinding pain. I passed out. Have you heard of the New Dawn Inquisition?
He says, "Those cultists?
Yes.
The ones that wrote those letters to everyone in Caliban?"
Yeah. Oh, you got one of those, did you? Yeah, great.
And he says, "Come on, Lise, don't beat around the bush any longer. You've got to tell him."
She says,
He's like hugging your dad. He's like, "Daddy, Daddy, I'm so excited for you to meet me."
She's like, "Bedlam, get off my dad." So their god. How do I put this? The catalyst. No, not the catalyst. One of the events that happened directly after the catalyst of me leaving Rune, which was me burning our manor down, by the way. That's not a. It's. I'll tell you about that later. I got burned. There was a guy. There was a man. He was very nice. His name was Quinn. He was trying to help me. He died. It was very bad and awful and very sad. And the man who killed him, Varric, he is a member.
Introduced you to me.
Was a member of the New Dawn Inquisition, and he wanted me to. I don't know if he wanted me to join them, because he did just kind of fuck off after he branded me. But he put this brand on the back of my neck, and now there's a god in my head.
He says, "There's a best friend in your head.
His name is Bedlam.
Bedlam, Bedlam, Bedlam."
He is here right now. You can't see him. Only I can see him and other people who have the brand. He's very happy to meet you.
Your dad is looking at you like you have 3 heads.
I'm like gauging his reaction, and like every time it looks like he's like gonna say something, she starts talking even quicker. So like he can't.
He
like,
looks
say
concerned for your mental health.
No, and like he is here. I know that you think I'm insane. I am insane, but not because
We're
of the
all
Bedlam thing.
insane here, so it's okay. You're in good company.
I'm also clown cursed, which we don't have to talk about right now.
You hear in the far, far distance, you hear the most menacing clown horn honk.
I completely ignore it. I'm like, so technically there's like a god of chaos and also some ancient, unknown, possibly eldritch clown running around in here. Except Bedlam can't see the clown. And only
I think you're even crazier than me, Lise.
So there's a lot going on in here. But yeah, I just thought that you should know about that. Bedlam can see and hear everything I can see and hear. I can't really do anything about it. I've tried.
It's brought us closer.
No one knows who he is except for the New Dawn Inquisition, and I can't learn anything else about him other than what he tells me, and it's been great.
Your dad is... He's like doing that thing where he's like kind of tilting his head a little bit and cocking his eyebrow. He's like, yeah.
No, I promise he's real.
And sure enough, the mist starts to disperse, and you are in the Whispering Woods again.
Oh, hey, welcome home.
Your
right.
dad is still completely shell-shocked by everything you're saying, and as you look around, you realize that Bedlam has like faded into the mist. And you look ahead and you see your old friends again.
Hey guys, look, I found my dad.
And as he's trying to like process everything, your friends see you standing now coming out of the mist, and they all scream, Lise! Well, Bramble screams, Lise! She's back, guys! She's back! And Foxbud runs up to meet him, and your dad is like, he's being hit with so much information so quickly, he's just deer in headlights stunned.
Yeah, I think she kind of squeezes his arm a little bit, and she's like, sorry about this. You left, and I have had a very weird life ever since. So it's your fault, I think. Anyway, these are my friends. Do you remember how I hated going to court? And how Mother could never convince me to go, and you had to be the one to be like, it's probably good for you, listen to your mother. Well, when you left, I fucked off and immediately stopped doing any of that. Well, whenever I could, Mother could be, convincing, sometimes. So I ran to the Whispering Forest whenever I could, and she could not follow because of, the Fae and the mist. And I made some Fae friends, and they're much better than elf friends.
Bramble, after he finishes hugging Foxbud, sprints up to you and straight up tackles you to the ground.
All right.
There's not even a strength or dexterity save to be made. This little guy has so much energy as he leaps towards you. You are knocked over.
I think he looks very small, but he's very made of bricks.
Oh yeah, and he's got the energy of a 12-year-old who has drank 50 monsters.
Yeah. He's literally insane. This is Bramble. Father. This is Bramble. This is my father.
As you say that, Bramble says, "This is your dad?"
Uh-huh. Look, I found him.
He steps forward and looks your dad up and down. He does that thing where he puts his hands on his hips and he closes one eye and looks him up and down. He says, how do we feel about him?
I love him.
Says, he looks him up and down again, and then he leans over and whispers in your ear,
Now, is this you say you love your mom in front of her, but you don't actually kind of a thing? Or is it
Oh, no. I actually love my dad. Yeah.
And you say that, and he says, Dad! And he runs and jumps on your dad.
Right. Yes.
Your father, he doesn't collapse quite as much. I think he's too stiff and frozen for that. He does fall multiple feet back and catches himself as Bramble does an arm and legs hug around him.
Bramble, he's only got one leg, okay? Maybe turn it down.
And he says, "Oh right, cool peg leg."
It is a cool peg leg.
And he says, "Thanks. It's a pleasure to meet you all."
This is Fauna. She's kind of if Mom was a good person and actually cared about me and stuff. Yeah.
She bows to him and says, "Hello, Mr. Lisa's dad."
And this is Glimmer. She's if I had a sister.
In fact, she has flown up to you. Your father, by the way, is shaking Fauna's hand that she has nervously presented to him. And Glimmer grabs one of your fingers and looks at it and says, "Lise."
I broke people out of a maximum security prison, and you expected me not to chip my nail polish, Glimmer?
She's running her fingers over the tips of your nails and being sure to really take a long time at each of the different chips that are there.
I am a pirate, Glimmer, okay? Why don't you come up with a top coat that makes it harder for it to chip?
And she just does the
Yeah, all right. I yank my hand away. I go, she also invented my nail polish. Dad, we should paint your nails. And your peg leg.
Glimmer, like, holds out her hand, and your father presents, like, his index finger, and, like, she takes it and pretends like she's about to shake it, and then, like, looks at his fingernails, and she says, "Oh my god, how are you related?"
Well, he's also been, like, a pirate for longer than I have, so...
His nails are fucking gnarly.
Yeah. Glimmer, do what you can, okay? You're magic. I expect you to do something.
She says, he's gonna need a lot more than a manicure.
What more would he get?
She says, well, a bath, first of all.
Okay, rude. Understandable, but a little bit rude. What have I said about telling people that?
He chuckles and, like, puts his hand on his neck again and says, yeah, it's been a couple weeks.
The fire makes me clean. I can't relate to that.
Yeah, you're one to talk. When's the last time Lise had a bath?
I set myself on fire and it burns away all of the yuckiness. And that's, yeah.
Well, that's patently false. You are not immune to fire.
I will be.
You're resistant.
I will be immune to fire soon. So. Anyway, yeah. So this is where I spent most of my childhood. I take you back to the house, but like I said, it is gone. It's burned down.
So wait, this is the forest that the elves, like, weren't able to enter?
Yeah, I feel like there's definitely... I feel like they have, like, some kind of tree house or a little, like, enclosure made of, like, leaves and branches and, like, stones that's, like, a little bit hidden that, like, Lise would maybe, like, sleep in if she stayed out here for, like, overnight or something.
Bramble pats a half log that's been hollowed out next to him, and he says, "Don't worry, Lise, we took good care of your cot."
Yeah, yeah, I used to sleep here.
He says, "You slept in the woods?"
It sometimes was safer than sleeping at home.
He says, "Oh my god, maybe I should have taken you with me when I left."
Yeah, you should have. But listen, hindsight's a bitch. Hindsight's 2020. Anyway, I think I sit on the forest floor. I'm like, I mean, okay, should I just like tell you everything now? Should we? I mean, the rest of you are here. You can, we can all talk.
Bramble immediately, like, he's standing and, like, he immediately sits down crisscross applesauce and says, Story time! Story time!
Okay, yeah. Glimmer, why don't you give my father whatever you can do to his nails? And also, Fauna, why don't you paint his peg leg or something while we're talking? And I will recount the last technically 5 years of my life, but it's really only been a couple of months for me. Yeah, I don't know. I think I tell him I think everything. I think that I think the only person I told what I actually said to my mom in that library was Cassandra.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that I do tell my dad everything that went down.
Okay.
And yeah, I tell him,
you
literally.
tell him and Bramble, Fauna, and Glimmer.
Yeah, they're all there. It's fine. Yeah, I think that I just tell them, like, literally everything that's happened. Like, sparing no detail. Yeah.
You guys, for, like, the next hour or so, are just kind of sitting in a circle, catching up. You find out that, Bramble, Glimmer, and Fauna have been up to their usual hijinks. Bramble leading the pack. Their lives are infinite, and they kind of just have fun every day. And your father is getting your stories as they do. And Bramble says,
"Didn't we already come here?" And like
you did catch up, but there's quite a bit that has happened since then.
Oh, that's true.
In fact, Bramble speaks up and says, "You broke into a maximum security prison without me?"
Well, okay, I got to the island and I was about to go in, but then my friends technically broke out and I kind of just helped get them away from there. Although, we did, there were unfortunately some casualties. Sounds like a disrespectful word. We lost some friends.
And even Bramble, everyone kind of falls into a slight silence. And you see Bramble kind of like look down at his feet and he says,
I should have been there with you.
Bramble, you can't leave this forest.
I don't know. Foxblood should have put down some mist or something.
As interesting as that would have been, I think it for the best that you are here, where no one can hurt you.
And Fauna speaks up and says,
Yeah, I don't think that we're really built for combat.
Yeah, Bramble, you might be made of thorns, but against those things.
He says,
I would have pantsed them good.
They were not wearing pants, Bramble.
If there's something on their legs, I could get it off.
Okay. All right. I believe you. I'm sure that you could have. But right. So that is, yeah.
I think this may also, I could be wrong about this, but I think this might also be like one of those moments where Lise kind of realizes how much she's grown up since being here.
Yeah, I mean, she did not trust anybody when she was here, and that was part of the reason I think that Quinn died. And in fact, I think I was gonna say she maybe walks to his grave, wherever they buried him, and kind of is like, this was Quinn. He tried to save my life, and he died for it instead.
And Bramble says,
Yeah, we've been putting flowers on it every few days.
And you do see a bunch of like flowers are like kind of resting at the foot of the grave. He's like, Fauna says,
We took good care of it while you were gone.
Thank you. I should be doing it myself, but
Glimmer says, You're busy saving the world, so.
Right. The world, the universe, all of reality, something like that, right? It's always something like that.
Your dad steps forward and puts a hand on the grave and says, Thank you for taking care of Lise when I couldn't.
It's not your fault. It might be mine, though.
There's a long, painful silence, and then, of course, Bramble once again breaks, and he says,
Have you pants that jerk yet?
No. I haven't seen him since he trapped us in time for 5 years. And as much as I would love to immolate him. Unfortunately, things are not that simple. People that I love cared about him at one point, and I have promised not to kill him if necessary, if possible. If necessary, I will, but if possible, I should not.
Your dad, still looking at the grave, says, "Yeah, I know that feeling. Betrayal from close friends." And he takes his hand off the grave.
Oh, right. Well. I don't really know what to say now. I've told you all there is to tell.
You guys stand there for a time longer, and then eventually Bramble says, "Are you hungry?"
Probably. God, when was the last time I ate something?
We were just about to have dinner.
Mushroom soup again? Or what?
No. Yes.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say, oh, you found something else to eat?
Says, well, we did berries yesterday.
Okay.
So, I mean, we have a balanced diet.
Okay. Great.
We did salad the day before that. Stop that. It's not, you're not my mom.
Are you gonna do, hold on, let me guess. It's a mixed berry salad, and now it's a mushroom stew, and tomorrow it's gonna be a mushroom salad and like a berry soup.
You can get a lot of different dishes out of not a whole lot of ingredients, Lise.
Right.
And Fauna says, "Yeah, it's all about how you prepare the ingredients. That's the most important part."
Fauna, I have watched you eat poison ivy off of the branch.
It's tasty.
Yeah.
She actually has
Okay.
a poison ivy branch right now and is eating one of the leaves.
Yeah, she's like chewing on it. Yeah. I once watched Bramble put one of those what are they called? The cottontails or cattails. I once watched Bramble tried to eat a cattail, and that was an interesting day.
It looks like a hot dog.
Yeah, it's not a hot dog. Nature's hot dog.
Glimmer and Fauna both start giggling, and he says,
How was I supposed to know they were bombs?
Not bombs. Seeds, for sure, not bombs.
The seeds don't explode.
Well, some of them do, evidently.
and your father speaks up and he says,
Yeah, I ran into that same mistake
You tried to eat a cattail?
when I was young.
Okay. Apparently I'm the only one here with a brain cell. Fantastic. Okay, yeah.
He says,
me the
you were a
mushroom
forest child and you never were tempted to eat a cattail.
Not after I watched Bramble do it.
He says, well, I didn't have a bramble.
I think she thinks back to a time where she once picked up a flower and just put the whole thing in her mouth and tried to eat it. She was like, yeah, no, I never ate a cattail. Okay, give me the soup then. The mushroom soup, let me see it.
Fauna passes you you and your father both a bowl, and
I
it's
heat them up
exactly how
because
you remember it.
I heat ours up because it's definitely just cold, like mushrooms and like water and stuff.
Give me a what would be the check for this? I guess it would be survival check.
To heat up some soup?
Oh yeah, food prep.
I can't just cast control flames?
Oh, you do, but you
Okay.
can absolutely burn soup.
Okay. No, I can't. I have never burned soup in my life. What did you say this was?
Survival.
Mod 20.
Okay.
I've never burned soup in my life.
You managed to do it just right, just the right distance of the flame and size of the flame from the bowls, and they lightly boil and become perfectly warm. Not too hot, not too cold.
I think she's eating it, and she's like, "You really got to start heating this shit up, you guys. You can't just keep eating cold soup forever."
Anna says, "It's better when it's cold.
It's not better when it's cold.
Then it doesn't hurt your mouth."
It's not. I thought Faye couldn't lie or something. Isn't that true?
Bramble says, "It's not a lie. It's better when it's cold."
Nope, you are a huge liar.
He grabs a spoon and goes to get a scoop of yours, and he says, "Watch!" And he takes a bite of it, and he goes, "That's disgusting. It's too warm."
You are a monster.
Why would you want warm mushrooms?
Why would you want cold soup?
That's like, I don't know, warm berries.
No, I don't think it is.
Why would you? I don't understand.
You've never had like a berry pie? Never had
Glimmer.
like boysenberry pie?
Glimmer kind of like looks at her fingernails and says, "It's all right. She's mortal. She can't be expected to have a taste as good as ours."
I'm going to kick your tiny little ass, Glimmer. If you say that one more time, I'm going to come over there and smack the shit out of you.
And she says, "Good luck catching me."
Yeah. I think that there's definitely somewhere out there, like, I never really implemented this, but when I made Lise as a character, I wanted one of her interests to be like photography, or like art and like sketching people, which is why the art of her Fae friends looks like a picture, like she's taken their picture. But I never really, just never really implemented that. But I think that there's definitely like a picture out there somewhere of Lise as like a really little kid, like in this forest, like jumping, trying to catch Glimmer, who's like too far out of her reach.
Do you mention any of this?
Yeah, I don't know. I bring up that memory. I'm like, yeah, I think I remember there being a picture like that somewhere.
Bramble says,
Oh yeah, I remember that. Hang on, I still got those pictures.
you see him scurry off into a bush, and he disappears for like a full minute before coming back. And he actually has two pictures in his hands. They're like pretty out of focus. It's clear Bramble was operating it at the time.
Yeah.
And the two pictures are little child, like 7-year-old Lise, jumping up to try and grab Glimmer while she's flying into the air. And then the second picture is moments later when she fell forward face first into a puddle of mud.
Great. Fantastic. She's like, yeah. I think I look at my dad and I say, one of my interests was photography and art. You can thank Mother for the art when I just wanted to take pictures, but apparently elves don't take pictures, we paint.
He looks at the pictures and he says, "Oh, these are great." And he looks at them for a really long time. You realize that he's kind of having a moment. He didn't get to see you growing up.
Yeah. I don't know that I think that Lise had no pictures, probably. I feel like possibly she had like one picture of her dad that she took when she was or that like someone else took when she was very young. And I want to say she had it, like she like carved his face out and like put it in a little locket or something like that. And I don't know that she would have that anymore. Maybe it was something that got left behind in the house, but I think that growing up, that's like all she had to remember him. And now that it's like had been a while since she's looked at it, I think that she's realizing she kind of was starting to forget what he looked like. In the sense that like when you haven't seen someone in a really long time, you still remember what they look like, but if you can't see a picture of them or you can't see them, it's like it becomes a little distorted or not exact, like you can't perfectly picture their face.
Yeah. You certainly have kind of forgotten what he used to look like.
Yeah.
When he was younger.
I think that whenever he is not looking, she's like sneaking glances at him.
He's certainly not looking at you now. He is fully transfixed on these baby pictures.
Yeah, I think she's looking at him while he's looking at the pictures. And I think that she's sad, just a little sad. Sad that he wasn't there and that he like missed all of that stuff, but also that he wasn't there and she missed, a lot of her time with him.
Mm-hmm. And I think your father's the first to realize that he's like in a trance and snaps out of it. And he says, "Say, Bramble, is there any chance you let me keep these?" And Bramble says, "Oh yeah, I've got like 20 of them."
Yeah, most of them are just blurry pictures of Bramble running and screaming away from people after he's pantsed them. But I'm sure I'm in there. I'm sure I'm in maybe the background of some of them.
He says, "I'm really good at photography too. You're just mad because I'm at the same skill level as you."
Yeah, you're absolutely correct.
And Fauna says, "Sorry, Bramble. Even I can't say that that's true. You're really bad." And he says,
"It's an art choice.
Yeah.
My pictures look softer."
I think another word perhaps the word you are looking for is blurry.
The soft.
Out of focus?
Because I never focus.
Right. Bramble is the fae that accidentally infected the world with ADHD. He's where it came from. He was the catalyst for that.
And Glimmer says, "All right, let's get to work on those nails."
Right, yeah. Hey, can you do like a black multichrome this time?
On yours?
Mm-hmm.
I've got just the thing. And she immediately gets to work filing your nails. And the whole time, just like every time she gets to a particularly bad chip, she like slows the filing down and looks you in the eye.
I blow on her a little bit every time she does it to me.
And every time you blow on her, she kind of like rakes a little bit of like the file on your finger just a little bit to like make it uncomfortable.
She's like, "All right, Clever. Fucking that's enough."
And she pulls out a vial of this like black opal like looking polish that has like streaks of like black opal color, like rainbow going through it.
Oh fuck, I want that. Hell yeah.
And she gets to work painting your nails.
Hell yeah. Dad, hey, what's your favorite color?
He says, "Oh, you don't gotta. It's
nope.
okay."
What's your favorite color?
He says, "I don't know if I have one."
Think about it.
And he looks at you and he says, "Red?"
Smart answer. But I feel like red is perhaps possibly too bright of a color for you. But that's all right. We'll make do. Lemma, paint my dad's nails red.
She like files his nails and like she's also doing the like and looking him in the eye each time she gets to a particularly nasty chip. And he's kind of just like, like unsure what to say.
It's all right. We'll have a long conversation about nail care, and personal hygiene later.
And she goes fishing in her little bag, looking for a good polish. She does have like straight like glossy and like matte reds, but also has like some like glittery reds, ones that kind of like shimmer from like red to like other colors, like kind of just a red and another color multi-chrome.
Just whatever he wants.
She says, anything's fine.
Glimmer, just follow your heart. Whatever you think is going to be best.
She looks him up and down and like eyes his like tattered, massive like leather cloak. And she grabs the matte red.
Yeah, fair. That's fair.
And gets to work painting his nails.
This is nice. I needed this, I think. She says, it has been a very long 5 years.
And your dad says, not just 5.
It's been a very long my whole life.
And you guys continue sharing stories and catching up for a little while. And eventually your dad says, well, I probably should get back to the ship if we can.
Yeah, we should probably go. This was fun. I'll come to visit, like I said, more when I can. Foxbud can do this kind of whenever, I think, so. We'll be around. Do keep pantsing people, but try to take more pictures this time. Possibly less blurry ones.
And Bramble says,
Oh, don't you worry. They're gonna be as out of focus as possible. I don't believe in focus.
Great. No, I shouldn't expect anything else.
I gotta be nimble. I gotta be agile. I gotta be quick to adjust.
That's not okay. All right. Good luck with that. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Which actually,
Fauna puts her hands on your shoulders and says, "You better be safe."
I will.
She says, "Please."
I will.
And Bedlam appears and says, "Don't you worry, I'll take good care of her."
Nobody can hear you.
He walks up to Fauna and starts shouting in her ear, "Fauna, can you hear me?"
Why would she be able to hear you? Has that
Please,
ever worked?
Fauna, I think you can almost hear me. Just listen carefully. I will protect Lise.
Has that ever worked before?
Fauna has no reaction. And he says, "Damn it, she's lost!" And he falls to his knees and he says, "You bastards! You've ruined everything!"
I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna go back to my ship now.
And he continues screaming, "Fauna! I need you to know how to protect her!" And Vile and Smile are dragging him into a bush.
Damn, this is like the first time we met when he came out of the bush and then was like disappeared back in. That was like weird deja vu.
Smile waddles back out, and his hand it re-extends from the bush again and grabs his little squeaky head, and he says, "That's it, boy. That's it for us." And he pulls him back into the bush.
Damn callback. Okay, well, yeah, I guess go back to the ship.
You guys say your goodbyes. Fauna reiterates over and over again for you to be safe.
I just keep
do you
smiling
set
at her.
her mind at ease?
I go, I will be safe. I say it as many times as possible, but I don't know if she believes me.
And Glimmer says, if you don't take care of your nails next time, I am going to take out the nail drill, and you're going to have to deal with that.
I'm not going to come back here if you come near me with that thing. That is a weapon, and I'll not be threatened.
And she crosses her arms and, like, taps her foot in the air.
Okay.
Tinkerbell style.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll take care of them, Glimmer. God.
And Foxbud recreates the mists, and you re-enter the mists.
I'm like holding my dad's head. I'm like, yeah, so that was the forest.
And your father says, "This is a lot to take in."
Yeah,
So-
I wish that I could have possibly given it to you in smaller bites, but really there's no watering it down.
And he says, "So about the god in your head."
Yes.
And
What about him?
the mists start to descend, and you're back in the cabin, and Lexi opens the door to the cabin, and she says, "Hi, Governor. Everything all right in here?"
Yeah, just, Fey portals.
And she says, "Righto. Well, everyone else would like to catch up with you as well, Lise."
Right, yes. I'll be out in, just a minute.
"Righto." And she closes the door.
As soon as she closes the door, I turn to my dad and I go, every day I regret giving her those new teeth.
And he says, "What's wrong? What do you mean?"
You don't know how she sounded before. and you'll never hear anything else now. I suppose it's better because you can understand her now, but at what cost?
And it's actually getting pretty late at this point. And he says, do you have we have room for you here if you want to sleep on the ship."
I mean, we can just keep our ships next to each other like they are right now.
He says, "Yeah, sure."
You didn't answer any of my questions. I have many questions.
"Sure."
How does your ship go underwater and none of you drown?
And he says, Maybe we should just show you."
Oh my god. Okay, well, I'll have to let the Tempest know. Hold on. Oh, did you know? You worked on the Tempest, so you had to have known. You know about the Tempest.
He says, "What do you mean?"
You know about the Tempest?
I mean, I occasionally served on the Tempest, yes. Other times I served on Lockjaw's other ships. I mean, I know that it's one of the fastest, if not maybe the fastest ship in the world. I know that it's pretty deadly, got a lot of cannons. I know that...
I link arms with him, and I'm like, come with me. I take him outside.
You head out of the cabin. Everyone else is actually all kind of talking to each other and catching up. And yeah, the Shifting Tempest is still kind of floating next to the Dredgenaut.
I'm like, I will make introductions in a moment, but I need you to know this. I would like to take him on to the Tempest so that the Tempest can feel his like presence.
Okay.
I take out the book and I write, I show the book to my dad, and I let him see as I write, Tempest, this is my father. Say hello.
And that text disappears into the page, and he says, "Oh, it's visible ink." And then the words, "Greetings, my father," appear on the page.
I write, oh, his name is August. You can just call him that.
Those words disappear into the page, and then the words, "Greetings, August, my father."
I think Lisa just starts laughing.
And your dad says, "Excuse me, what?"
Tempest, and I'm like, can I? I don't know. You've done this once before. I wonder if you could do it again. I walk up to like a wall, and I'm like, might I see you for a moment? And I'm wondering if it can like make an eye.
The words appear. What?
I like take the book and I'm like, can you create an eye on this wall?
The words, "I do not have eyes," appear.
You made them once.
It turns the wood panels into the shape of an eye. They crack and bend and creak and moan as they turn into like the creepy shape of like a hyper realistic eye.
Can you see out of that?
The word "no" appears.
Oh, damn it. All right, never mind. I'm like, screw this.
And your dad takes a step back and he says, "Whoa, what?"
God, I wanted to explain this to you in a cool, like, presentation-y way, but there's really I honestly think I just have to tell you, the Shifting Tempest is alive.
And he says, "Excuse me? Like it's enchanted?"
No. It's a mimic.
And he says, "Like that wall is, or?"
No, like the whole shit.
He like looks down at his foot and his peg leg, like standing on the boards, and he says, "The whole thing?"
The whole thing, yes.
He like stomps a couple times on the wood, and he says, "The whole thing."
The whole thing.
And as he stomps on the planks, they kind of like bend back and forth a little bit, like a "stop doing that" motion, and he goes, "Ah!" And
He doesn't like that. Oh, he doesn't like it when you stomp. Maybe don't do that.
Your dad stumbles back and falls on his ass.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, maybe I should have warned you. I didn't know to do that. I help him up and I take him back onto his ship. And I'm like, yeah, so another friend that I've made, you know.
He says, "Got it. So neither of us have normal ships."
Would you like to meet my friends? I'll see if they're nearby, actually. Hold on. I grab the Mind Melt Stone and I'm like, hey, you guys wouldn't happen to be nearby, would you?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. I wanted you to meet my dad, but perhaps another time.
Friend in danger?
No. Friend not in danger. Wanted you to meet my dad, but it's okay.
Lee's baby?
No.
Friend
But
is baby?
no. Are you baby? You have parent.
Yes. I, baby, parent.
Oh, well, well. Okay, never mind. Never mind. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. This will just be a great reveal for later. Okay, love you. Goodbye.
Baby, love, toy.
Oh, good. Least love, baby, and you.
Uh-oh, baby, breaking toy.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. You know what? Unsurprising. You know what? Unsurprising.
And she does not reply to you mentally after that.
Okay. Yeah, I put the stone back. Okay, well, my other friends are busy right now. So you'll just have to meet them later. Anyway, yeah, I guess we should make introductions now, right? Catch up with everyone else. Father, there's someone I would like you to meet. I think that Lise has never really been embarrassed around Cassandra as much, but I think that she is like kind of like rubbing the back of her neck. Like
he says, we can handle all the introductions in just a minute, but first, can you make that ship follow us?
Oh, yeah.
Says, you got to show me your ship, so now it's time for me to show you mine.
Right. Yes.
And he climbs back up to the helm, and this helm looks slightly different than the helm of your ship. First of all, it actually does things, and second of all, there's a massive lever in front of the wheel.
The shipping compass doesn't need a working helm, okay?
And he calls out, Jay, let's show Lise what this baby can do. And Jay starts calling out commands to everyone on board. And then your father pulls that big lever, and suddenly the whole ship begins shaking and suddenly drops underneath your feet.
Oh, God.
And you have like a moment of panic as you realize that the water is rushing up to meet you. And then you realize that it's not. You get below the water line and you realize it's not filling the deck of the ship. There's a bubble around the deck of the ship. And you descend deeper and deeper into the water. And your father says, we use currents to sail. Hoist the mainsail! And Jay begins pulling at the ropes, and the sails, which are fully submerged in the water, extend outward, and current begins pushing you all forward, much like the wind would.
Interesting. This is like, oh.
And before you know it, the whole ship lurches, and you are zooming through the water underground, and you see fish and like sharks and dolphins and all kinds of underwater aquatic life all around you.
I think Lisa's like, I wish Soft Taco were here. This would be such a cool way to introduce my dad to Soft Taco.
And your dad, as he's holding the helm, looks to you to gauge your response.
Yeah, I think Lisa's literally like childlike wonderment, like.
And he says, pretty cool, right?
She says, yeah. You could say that. She says, well, just wait until you see my ship eat another ship.
And suddenly, from the deck, Jay starts pounding on the railing of the ship.
Oh, a sea shanty?
And Stacy goes, "Oh my god, yes!" and starts pounding too, and like pulls it at Becky's arm until she does it too. And Jay looks to Cassandra, who pulls out her drum and boom, 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 begins carrying the beat through the ship. And that's when Jay bursts out into song. And she says, "There once was a pirate, terror of the seas." And Stacy, Becky, Jay, and your father and Lexi all join in. "Oh, I, the scourge of the sea, watch your stern or she'll sink ye." Jay picks up again and says, and she was a captain cruel as could be. "Oh, I, the scourge of the sea, watch your stern or she'll sink ye. They say she'd pillage and kill freely. Oh, I, the scourge of the sea, watch your stern or she'll sink ye." At this point, at each of the choruses, all of your friends are also joining in. Helga and Cassandra are joining in. Jay then says, "Slew the prior scourge and laughed with glee. Oh, I, the scourge of the sea, watch your stern or she'll sink ye. Put his head on her ship so you'd know to flee. Oh, I, the scourge of the sea, watch your stern or she'll sink ye. Well, killing and raiding got too easy. Oh, I, the scourge of the sea, watch your stern or she'll sink ye. She grew bored of always winning, you see. Oh, I, the scourge of the sea, watch your stern or she'll sink ye. She crossed the veil, continued her spree. Oh, I, the scourge of the sea, watch your stern or she'll sink ye. Now she plunders souls as the sea banshee. Oh, I, the banshee of the sea, watch your stern or she'll sink ye."
I think Lise literally is standing there. And like at first she was like, "Oh, like this is a nice song." I think that when she realizes it's about her, she just starts crying.
And your father, as he's singing along, he stops when he sees Lise tearing up. He says, "You became a legend, dear."
I didn't mean to.
He said he looks at you like so proud, a huge grin across his face, and he says, "Nope. Every pirate on every sea in Ameris knows your name."
I think that Lise, these, especially after what happened with like losing her friends and everything, I think that she is, it's just the two of them up on that like deck where he's steering.
Up the helm, yeah.
Yeah, and I think she looks at him and sees him like smiling at her and looking really proud. And I think that, honestly, I think her heart breaks a little bit. Because she doesn't think that she deserves it. I think that she like kind of starts to tear up a little bit looking at him, and like all she's ever wanted was her dad to be proud of her, and he's alive and he's here and he is so happy to see her, and she's like, I don't deserve your praise.
He says,
No. I'm not done.
"Oh, okay."
She says, I don't deserve your praise. It's all I've ever wanted. But I don't deserve it. I don't think I've really done anything to deserve any of it, really. I mean, that statue in Caliban. And look where that's gotten us. Caliban's gone. Many people are dead. 2 of my friends, most recently, when I was trying to save them. And I couldn't even do that right. Someone told me that they thought I was a good person, and that they knew immediately that I was a good person. But I don't agree. I don't think I am.
He cuts you off, and he like puts his. He has like fucking ripped arms, by the way. Your dad is like.
Oh shit! He's a rip.
He puts one of his arms around your shoulder and pulls you into like a side hug, and he says, "First of all, the fact that you feel that you need to deserve my pride, that just shows me I've got a lot of parenting to catch up on. Second of all, I don't think you give yourself enough credit. You've done a lot since I last saw you, Lise. You've become a symbol of hope. Even when you're not doing anything, people fight harder than they could ever imagine because they know that you're out there. As long as you're out there, they have a fighting chance. Lise, you broke into Orin maximum security, Azure maximum security. I don't think you realize how insane that is."
I do. I understand. I understand the difficulty. I understood the risks. And I did it anyway. Because I'll be damned if someone's going to tell me no when I want to do something, but they died.
And
Why? Because I was careless? I could have. I was right there. I was so busy trying to be a big hero and show off, fucking controlling some idiot's mind from across the way, when below me they were getting hounded by cannon fire and I did nothing. What do you call that? It's sure as hell not heroism. It's sure as hell not heroism. I think I slurred my words a little bit there.
he says, "No, I think that's exactly what heroism is. Heroes don't always save everyone, Lise. You save as many people as you can. The important thing, that you haven't forgotten about them. The fact that you're still thinking about them, that it eats you up like this, that shows me you've grown into a very strong leader. A good leader doesn't move on after losses, after people die. A good leader holds on to their memories, holds on to everything about them. If you forgot about them, then their loss was for nothing. But if you hold on to their memory, fight for their memory, that is what makes you a hero.
And what of the thousands or more who die? Or who died when I was gone? Hoping that I would return when I was helplessly trapped in time.
He says, imagine how much worse it would have been if they didn't have something to fight for. Imagine how many more would have died if they didn't have a legend to believe in their hearts. I know you're just a girl, just like I'm just a man. But that doesn't matter. A hero becomes bigger than themselves. Legends aren't people. They're what people make. He like extends his hand out at the deck of the ship and he says, you built all this. Everyone here, we're together, fighting now because of you.
I don't have anything to say to that. I was trying to think of something. But
you can just say Lise thinks on that.
Yeah, I think that she just kind of doesn't say anything and thinks on it.
He stares out at the deck with you for a while and then squeezes your shoulder and says, besides, now that the Sea Banshee and her father are reunited, well, we're gonna be unfucking stoppable.
Stop it.
Zipper clawing your legs.
No, she's trying to rub her face against the wire of the microphone because I'm not petting her.
Disconnects your microphone.
Yeah. No more microphone, only zipper. Yeah, I think she says, yeah. If one thing's certain, if I do anything in this world that is worth remembering, it'll be burning ore into the ground.
And as you say that, your father repeats it. He calls out to everyone, we're burning ore into the ground! And everyone on the deck cheers and raises their fists to the sky as well. Or I guess to the water?
Yeah. There's like some dolphins ahead.
He pulls that lever again and the ship resurfaces.
Nice.
And you feel like your whole body pushed down on the deck of the ship as the ship forcibly starts pushing itself back up and water explodes out all around you and you are back on the surface of the sea. Nice. Right next to the shifting tempest.
Yeah, I think now we will make introductions. Finally.
I think as you step down from the helm, Cassandra is standing there waiting for you, and she sees your dad coming, and she stands as stiff as she can and offers out her hand and says, hello, Mr. August.
Okay. I think Lise just she's like, all right, what the hell? What is this?
She says,
Cassandra.
It's really nice to meet you, sir.
Father, this is Cassandra.
He says, Cassandra, yeah. This is, was this the girl you mentioned when you were telling me this is your girlfriend?
Yes, you saw her statue as well in Heaven's Cradle.
And Cass, like, her eyes like bulge a little bit, like, wait, she already told him about me. And she says, Dad, yeah, I just, wanted to see if, I had your blessing. And I think your dad, like, looks at her after she says that, and, like, you see for a split second, he, like, almost laughs, but he, like, controls it. And he puts on a stern face. And he says, I don't know. Tell me about yourself, Cassandra.
I think before this goes any further, at least like steps in between the two of them with her arms crossed, she goes, first of all, you don't need anyone's permission to do a goddamn thing. And second of all,
and your dad says, I don't know, Lise. She sounded like she wanted my blessing, so I think I need to hear her out.
She just rolls her eyes.
She says, okay, so I don't need your blessing? And your dad says, well, you do now.
She's like, I think she kicks him in his shin.
You forget that that's his peg leg.
Oh,
and
I kick his peg leg.
You stub your toe on his peg leg. It's
Shit.
a lot firmer than you thought it was.
Motherfucker!
You're jumping up and down holding your toe.
Yeah. Sir, what the fuck? That thing's solid wood. What the hell? You got metal in there? What, it's made of bricks?
She says, I work alongside your daughter on the Shifting Tempest, and we're working for the Umbra Arbiters, so I guess you could say I'm employed, although Artemis doesn't really make money anymore. So maybe I'm not employed. And your father says,
you're employed as a
so
pirate.
you're unemployed.
No, you're employed as a Chaos Crusader, which is employed to the all of reality, which is good enough.
And she says, yeah, I mean, like Lee said, we're just a little busy with everything else. And, he says, so you're just taking some time to find yourself. And, like, give me... You don't even need an insight check for this. You can totally see he's struggling not to laugh.
I think Lisa's just like, she's like pinching the bridge of her nose and like shaking her head.
And she says, I guess so. Yeah, so.
What are you asking his blessing for? For us to date? We're already dating, Cassandra.
I wanted to be cool with it. I don't want to be on bad terms with your dad.
Okay, well, he has been gone for 20 years. I don't really... I turn to him and I go, I love you, but you... and, like, no offense, but you don't really get a say in, like, my whole dating life relationship. And I know that you didn't say that you did, but I point at Cassandra and I go, but you need to understand that his doesn't really get a say, okay?
But I do want to be on good terms with him.
Okay, start out... this isn't the way. This is...
Your dad can't handle it anymore. He busts out laughing.
Yeah.
He has like a big hearty belly laugh too.
Yeah.
And he said, Cassandra, you're fine. He like grabs her shoulder and he says, truly, I do not give a shit. he gestures at you and he says, the fact that she hasn't killed you yet, that's good enough news for me.
Yeah, it probably means you're somewhat of a good person, I think. She's like, yeah, I have morals. That everyone... She says, I have morals that everyone should, I think, recognize or maybe perhaps live by. And you know what? I am not as mean as I would like to be. I think that all of you should start appreciating that more.
He actually leans over to Cassandra and like kind of like whispers, but kind of loudly so that you can hear too. And he says,
If anything, I'm just hoping you're strong enough to keep her in check.
She says, okay, hey, I heard that, first of all. I think this goes on for another while of like Cassandra trying to get approval from Lisa's dad. Lisa's dad just making a joke about it, and Lisa trying to interject like, I don't need anybody's approval. You don't need anybody's approval either. We don't need that.
I think eventually Cassandra realizes like the situation and like it eventually devolves into them both teasing you.
She's like, all right, I've had enough of this shit, okay? I have other friends to talk to and catch up on, so
and she says, and then there was this time on the train in Orin where, like, you know, we were trying to be undercover, but Lise just could not control herself. Her temper was constantly getting out of control. And
she says, oh my God, and she just leaves. She just backs out of the conversation.
And her dad's just like, oh yeah, she gets that from me. And they're both laughing about stories about you as you walk away.
I think I go up to Flint and I'm like, dude, you are never gonna guess who I saw at the Emperor's fucking ball.
He says, holy goddamn, you went to a whole ball?
Yeah, okay, but that's not the important part. Guess who I fucking saw there?
The Emperor?
Well, yeah, he was there, but he's not the important one.
Is that not the biggest ticket item?
No, listen. Dale fucking Dorna was there.
And he says, and you killed him, right?
I wanted to. I mean, we were undercover. It was a whole thing. I really wanted to poison his drink before we left, but like I couldn't make a big thing of it. God damn, I really wish. I wanted to get him alone for just a minute, but there just wasn't any time.
Says, well, passed up a golden opportunity there.
I know. I'm so pissed off. I thought of you immediately. I was like, what would Flint say?
And he says, Flint would say, shoot the son of a bitch.
Yeah, I should have. I should have caused a whole scene. I should have killed that motherfucker and then booted it out of there. Fuck the Emperor.
He pulls out one of his many flintlocks and spins it on his finger and hands it to you. And he says, here, it's loaded. That shot's for him next time you see him.
She said, hell yeah. She sticks that shit in a holster. I'm putting that in my inventory.
Okay. And he says, but make sure you let him know that it's from me.
Yeah, I'll write your name on the bullet.
He says, much obliged. And Stacy and Becky come running up, and Stacy is like, oh my God, it's been so long since we saw you. What else have you been getting up to in that time?
Girl, you don't even want to know.
No, we do. That was so cool. The purple worm everybody was talking about it for years.
She says,
They're probably still talking about it.
She says, truthfully, the whole thing was an accident. I stumble into cool shit like that.
And she and Becky continue begging you to recount your stories since last they saw you.
Yeah, I guess I'll fill them all in, yeah.
And Jay comes up as well with Lexi and Cassandra, and she says, I'm going to need to hear these stories too, matey. My storybooks are growing rather thin these days.
Yeah. I just fill them all in too. I tell them about the Tempest being a mimic.
You guys actually spend just hours, everyone catching up. We've done catch up quite a few times at this point. So I'm just gonna kind of fast forward through some of this. It's the dead of night now. And as you guys are getting ready to, turn in for the night, Lexi actually pulls you aside Um, and she says, "Oi, Governor, listen, before we severed ties with Caliban, I had Artemis hook me up with one of these." And she shows you a postal box that looks like it was forcibly removed from a postal box wall. And she says, "And Artemis made sure it still works."
That is hilarious. I love this.
And she explains that it can still send and receive letters just like any other Caliban postal box. But
well,
it's
who
just
do
like
you
a
write-
kind of a handheld 2.5 foot by 2.5 foot box.
who do you write to get it sent to here?
Well, the person's name. You remember how postal boxes work, yeah?
Well, yeah, I just mean like, I thought everyone
She-
had their own personal postal box. Oh, no. Oh, you're right. You write your name. Oh, you say your name and
No, you
you're
press
right.
your hand to the postal box
Oh.
and it opens up your dimension box.
I look Lexi in the eye and I put my hand on it.
She stumbles a little bit as it suddenly gets heavier.
She goes, "You might want to step away." I have a feeling I know what's going to happen when I open this.
You open the door and like she's holding it, so she stumbles back a little bit as it like letters fly out of it. Some of them actually fly directly into the water.
Oh no!
But there's just so many letters that spill out onto the deck.
She starts going through all of them.
Pretty much every single one is letters from different people in Caliban and Sanctaria and just people around the world writing to the Chaos Crusaders. And you do find a handful of letters from your father.
She goes, "What the hell?" All right. Well, I burn all of the ones that are not
Oh my
not
god!
important. Well, I gotta put them somewhere. What am I supposed to do with them? Like, I'll read them. I meant that I will read them, and then after I've read them, I will burn them.
Mail.
I will read them and then burn them. Just to clear it out. There's got to be space for new letters.
You simply, like, it is late at night. This would take hours to read through all of these.
Well, what am I supposed to do with them?
Lexi, Jay, and everyone else helps kind of sweep them up on the deck into a massive burlap sack of letters.
All right. She goes, I think we sweep them onto the Tempest. And I'm like, I'll deal with that later. But cool. Yeah. Is this for me?
And she says, well, no, we still need it on our ship. But
Right.
If you ever need to send a letter, can absolutely do that for you.
Fantastic. Thank you. Yes, that's much appreciated.
And she says, how's Oliver doing?
Well, I just saw them, and they were well. Obviously we lost some people, so not as great as they could be, but Oliver is Oliver, they are ever the leader and the strategist, yeah.
Okay. And she says, we just didn't end on the best of terms.
Oh, why?
It's a long story. And she says, I'll tell you tomorrow.
No. No.
Everyone
no,
is
no,
kind
no.
of turning in for the night.
Lexi.
She says, "It's a long story."
Fine. But you're not going to tell me tomorrow.
She says, "Righto," and everyone is kind of figuring out sleeping arrangements for the night because it is past midnight.
Oh shit. Okay.
It's deep into the night.
Are we sleeping back on our ship or what? Probably. This crew is big. I feel like maybe their ship can't accommodate that many more people.
August says, "No, we can if you want. I mean, we have supported crews much bigger than this."
Is their ship dirtier than mine?
No.
Yeah, all right. I'll sleep on the ship for now. For tonight.
They pull that lever again and descend the ship into the depths. They tend to do this when turning in for the night. Submerge the ship for safety's sake.
I let the Tempest know that we'll be back in the morning.
Okay. It writes back, "Understood. I will watch."
Okay.
And we are finally going to get to our first poll. Chat, now that we're finally here. As Lise is turning in for the night, does she have a dream or a nightmare? I have to switch views for this. There we go. Does Lise have a dream or a nightmare?
I'm just going to go ahead and level myself up while this is happening.
Yeah, I had Mint prepare a level up sheet for this moment. Will Lise be having a dream or a nightmare? Well, I'm seeing mostly votes for dream. Looks like it's gonna be a dream. You turn in for the night on the below deck of the Dredgenaut, and you have a very strange dream.
All right.
Sorry. In your dream, you are in a gilded hall, and you are walking alongside someone. You don't know who right away. In fact, you're not even sure that you're controlling your movement. You feel as though you're being carried by someone.
Oh.
When you make it to the end of the hall, you're in this grand, tower room. And you turn and see that the person you've been walking alongside is the Emperor of the Oran Empire, Vladimir Lightbane. And he has a large blue spear with this brilliant crystalline blade that he has been walking with, like a walking stick. And he raises it, pointed to the sky, and you realize the center of this tower is open to the sky. And you begin channeling your magic into that spear. You begin extending your hands, and energy is flowing to that spear. And a column of light extends to the sky. A column of brilliant, bright blue light. It's almost blinding. And you just get the feeling that this is what you were always meant to do. This is your destiny. And then you wake up.
Didn't like that. Cassandra, I had another dream.
You wake up in a cold sweat after that dream, and it's like very early morning. Although you certainly can't tell very easily because you are fully submerged underwater.
Cassandra, I like sleepily roll over, like accidentally hit her in the face. Like
You hit her in the face, and she immediately pulls out both flintlocks and fires them at the ceiling. What? Where are the bad guys?
Cassandra, why are they loaded and fucking the safety is off? God damn it.
The shots wake everyone else on the ship up.
God damn it, Cassandra.
What slapped me in the face? What's going on? And she's like sitting up, like very tired, like disoriented.
False alarm, everyone, go back to sleep. God damn it, Cassandra.
August calls out, "Is everyone okay? What's going on?"
It's fine. Cassandra's just an idiot.
He runs down the hall and sees you guys. Cassandra, like both flintlocks raised, like drunkenly in the air.
She's a jumpy sleeper. It's fine. Sorry.
And he bursts out laughing and says, I'm gonna go back to sleep for a couple hours.
Yeah, you do that. Lace does not go back to sleep.
Okay.
I think she might not get up, but I think that she I think she has been journaling her dreams.
Mhm.
I think that she has realized that no dream is coincidence or just a dream anymore.
Uh-huh.
And so she takes out her journal and she writes it down.
Okay. All right.
And
Cassandra
then,
has fallen back asleep.
yeah, I think she probably just sits in bed for a little while. And just kind of tries to process the last couple of days, the last couple of months, years.
You are sitting in this below deck room of the Dredgenaut, and it's actually like really relaxing. It's very cool down here. Like not like in a damp way, but like just the feeling you get when like there's a large body of water nearby, but it's like all around you.
I think she
everything
might
has like a slight blue tone to it.
I think she might actually get out of bed and go sit on like the deck. Maybe like lay down on the deck and just like look at the like water.
As you're walking up to the deck to do that, you hear a strange noise down the hall.
What's the noise and in which direction did it come from?
Closer down the hall, it's like toward the captain's quarters, actually, you think.
Is that where my dad went to sleep?
No. Your dad is below deck with everyone else. There's like scurrying going on in the room. Like someone's shifting around in there.
Hold on. I I don't know. I possibly would like to sneak up. Is there like a way to peek in without being seen?
You're gonna have to do a stealth check.
Okay.
You creep down the hall and up the stairs and toward the door, to the captain's quarters.
16.
All right, you manage to keep from stumbling or making any loud noises.
Okay.
Chat, we have another poll here.
Uh-oh.
Lise, when you look through the wood paneling on one of the walls, there's like a slight gap in one of the walls that you can just barely squint through. You see Helga.
Uh-huh.
And she's hunched over a table.
Okay. Can I see?
And chat, you're going to decide if Helga is writing or reading.
Uh-huh.
1 in chat for writing, 2 in chat for reading. Ooh, chat's really thinking about this one.
Guys, it's gonna be what it is either way. Come on.
What? No, there are two very different things that can happen here.
Well, no, I know. I'm just like, whatever they pick is what's gonna happen. There's no getting around it.
All right.
Rating.
You notice that she's like sounding words out.
Can I hear what she's saying?
She says, hello, hello, oh, Helga, hello, Helga, door, Helga door. And this continues for a while, and it gets less and less like comprehensible. Hoppy, hoppy, let tear, and she's like holding the paper up to like the light and like trying to get different angles on it.
I knock on the door. I don't wait for this. I knock on the door. I think I just like come in actually, because it's like the captain's quarters.
Do you come in like really loud, or you keep trying to sneak?
No, I'm not trying to sneak, but I don't come in like suddenly. I think I like kind of just open the door.
She doesn't notice right away.
Okay. I think Lisa's like standing there for another minute.
Wheel thigh,
Helga?
Ah! And she jumps and jams the paper in her pants.
Helga, what are you doing?
Helga, sleepwalk.
Helga, it's not nice to lie to friends.
Her face, she blushes really hard, and she says, Helga's reading letter.
Are you having some trouble?
No, Helga is good reader.
Would you like it if I read it to you?
Helga does not know if it is private.
Okay, who is it from?
A friend.
Which? You have a lot of friends, Helga.
Yeah, one of Helga friends.
Helga.
One of Helga's very pretty friends.
Is it from the girl from Warren, Helga?
She's like, yes.
Okay. I think Lise just gives Helga a hug. She's just I think she just pats her on the head and gives her a big hug. And she says, okay.
She says, can you help Helga read letter?
Yes, I will help you read your letter, Helga. I close the door so that no one else can hear. It'll be just a secret.
She hands the letter to you, and I have just sent it to you.
Awesome. Okay. All right, Helga, this is what it says. Are you ready?
Okay. She's so excited to hear what it says. Her eyes are wide open.
She looks at the paper. She goes, okay. It says, hello, Helga dear. I hope this letter finds you well. Although our time during the gala was brief, I do think you were the most lovely part of the evening. I don't know about you, but I was quite new to the wealthy ball-going scene, and to be frank, I don't know that it's the kind of thing I enjoy. But enough about that. I was hoping to get to know you better. What do you enjoy doing in your spare time? After I came into some wealth from selling my farmlands in Caliban, I found that I still love to garden. What are your favorite flowers? Around this time of year, I've always been partial to peonies. I've pressed one and included it in this letter, and I dare say it's nearly as captivating as you. I await your response with bated breath. From Elizabeth. I think Lisa's this is so cute. I show Helga the peony.
Actually, Helga already has the peony, and she says, it is very pretty and smells very nice. And she keeps sniffing it, and she says, this is for Helga?
Yes, it's she pressed it just for you.
Says, it is very pretty. Do you think Helga can wear it in hair? And it is it's fully flat.
It's pressed, not really meant to be worn. It's sort of something that you keep and just look at and have. But we can get you when we get on land. We can see if there are some peonies for your hair.
She hugs it close to her chest and says, Helga will not let peony come to harm.
Yeah, you keep that safe, Helga. It's pressed, so it should be all right. It should be in between some glass or something. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Zipper's being so cute right now. She's so sleepy. But yeah, Lisa's blushing. She's so happy for Helga. And she goes, would you like me to help you draft a response?
She says, what is response?
You write her back?
She says, and nods furiously.
Okay, all right. She gets some pen and paper, and she's all right. What? Let's start with let's start with I don't know. She started talking about the ball and everything. She wants to know what you enjoy doing in your spare time.
Helga likes spend time with friends.
Okay, good. I'm going to make a list first, and then once we have a list of things, we'll make it into a letter. So she writes down, likes to hang out with friends.
Okay.
I feel like this can go on for a while.
She says, Helga run and pick up heavy things.
You like to work out. Exercising is fun for you.
What is exorcism?
Nope, not exorcism. Exercising. That's what you do when you lift weights and you go running and...
No. Helga do not do exorcism. Helga just running around and pick up heavy things.
Okay. Okay.
I don't want her to think Helga's scary ghost.
Nope, that's not at all what that means. You must understand that the word exercise, nothing to do with ghosts.
Not know what exercise mean.
It means what you do. You're running around and you're picking up heavy things. That is exercise.
Why have two words for one thing? That's silly.
No, because what you're saying is multiple things, and exercise is one word for those things.
Disagree.
Okay, all right. I will write down that you like to run around and pick up heavy stuff. All right. Moving on.
Helga smell flowers.
Okay, you like to smell flowers, and she would like to know what your favorite flowers are. Do you know of any that you like specifically? You like the smell of this peony?
Peony, yes.
Okay. I imagine, I don't know. This could be completely wrong, but I get the vibe that Helga seems to me like if I had to pick a flower for Helga, I feel like Helga would be a sunflower. And I don't know why, and I can't really explain it. But when I think about Helga, I think about sunflowers.
She says, sunflower, that is big yellow one, yes?
Yes.
Those flowers are some of strongest flowers.
Yes, they're very tall. They get very big.
They are big and strong.
Yes, you like those? Okay, write that down. We probably go on for a little while, listing a few of Helga's favorite flowers.
While you guys are figuring out her favorite flower, she says, "Oh, also let her know, she is pretty and kind, and fun to talk to."
Okay, she writes those down. She's like, "All right, perfect." Awesome. Let's see. Oh, and okay, yeah, she called you captivating, which was very nice, and your response was that she's pretty and kind and fun to talk to. Amazing. All right, this seems very good. Is there anything else you would like to add to this, or do you think that this is good? Are there any questions that you have for her?
How do grow flowers?
Okay, yeah, we can ask her for gardening tips. Ask her, you know what, I'm going to ask her if she knows of how to plant flowers on a boat.
Oh, okay. Helga not know how gardening.
Well, because then we could get some flower beds for the shifting tempers, and there could be like flowers around that you can like tend to and stuff.
Oh, okay. Oh,
does that sound?
Helga grow her flower. Helga grow her peony.
Okay, yeah, and then you can press it and send it back. Yes. Okay, I'll ask her how to grow peonies in a flower bed for the ocean.
She when she realizes she could grow flowers for her, she seems very energetic. She's like she's not jumping up and down, but she's like kind of like bouncing on her knees a little bit, and like she's like so big that like the floorboards are kind of going.
All right, Helga, I'm so happy that you're happy about this. You're going to wake everybody up. Everyone's like, "Is there an earthquake? Like, what's going on?" Yeah, I draft a letter and I include everything that she said.
Okay. She says, "Okay, and you said she is pretty?
Yep, right here.
And you said she is kind?
Yep, right next to it.
And also fun to talk to?
Right next to that one, yes.
And can you ask her if she want to write more letters with Helga?"
Yes, I will ask her. I
don't want to stop writing letters with her.
I will express your interest in continuing to write to each other.
Okay.
Great. Fantastic. Yeah, I do all of that.
You place it in the postal box, and you close the door, and when you reopen it, it has vanished.
All right, it's sent to her, so, she'll read it and most likely write you in return.
Helga is now, closing the door and reopening it multiple times, waiting, trying to see if a new letter has appeared.
No, it's gonna take a little bit of time, Helga. You gotta give her a bit of time. Why don't we go do something else to get your mind off of this?
She says, okay.
Let's run laps. Let's run laps around the ship. You are full of energy right now.
Okay. She says, oh, Liga, let's run laps with Helga.
Well, how about this?
She grabs you by the shoulder and pulls you along with her.
I'll get on your back and to give you the weight, and then you run, and it'll be like a double workout. You'll be lifting something heavy and running, which are two of your favorite things.
She says, Lise does not want to run with Helga. Helga would not want to deprive Lise of fun running activity.
I just think it could be more fun for you if you were carrying me.
We do that next. And she grabs your hand and starts running. Give me an athletics check.
Oh, no. 11.
You're stumbling the whole time. There's multiple times where you're hopping on one leg as she's dragging you along. You manage to catch your footing a few times only to slip and be dragged a little further. She's like, come on, Lise, we need to run faster. It is more fun when you run faster.
She's like, in her head, she's like, hi, I volunteered myself for this.
You get the feeling that Helga is even more energetic now than she was before.
Son of a bitch, does this woman never run out of energy?
Toward the end, you're huffing and puffing and desperately trying to get air into your lungs. And she seems not even winded. She seems fine. She's jogging in place, and she says, get on Helga back.
She says, yes. Oh, thank God. She climbs onto Helga's back.
And she continues running. And you notice her pace slows a little bit at one point, and she says, Lise, what does that one word from the letter mean? And she thinks for a second. She says, captive. Captivating. Captivating.
Yes, captivating. It means she thinks it. How do I? So, the word captivating has the word captive in it. It means that you held her attention captive, with your beauty. She thinks that you were very beautiful, and she couldn't help but keep all of her attention on you.
She says, she say Helga beautiful?
Yes.
She instantly, her speed, Helga's speed is, 40 feet per second walking, 80 dashing. She's 200 dashing right now.
Oh my God.
She's fucking bolting laps around this ship insanely fast.
I think Lisa's laughing, and I think she's got one arm around Helga's neck to hold on, and she's just going, go, 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 go.
It's insane how fast this woman is running right now. And it's to the point where she's run so many laps around this ship so quickly that it's actually starting to rock a little bit back and forth. You're fully submerged underwater. You're not going to sink or anything, but it's just the ship is actually rocking from all the momentum of her running these laps. And your father actually bursts from below deck and says, what's going on? What's going on?
Lisa's like, don't worry about it. Morning, training.
And Helga is running these laps in circles over and over again. And she says, she thinks Helga beautiful!
Yeah, Lisa's just laughing and cheering her on while on her back.
And this continues for a very long time. And finally, Helga slows down and lets you off. And under her breath is still going, think, Helga, beautiful.
Yeah, I think that Lise like turns around and like puts a hand on her shoulder and she goes, "You are beautiful, Helga, and I'm sorry that nobody has told you that before."
Says, no one ever say Helga not beautiful. Most people scared of Helga.
Well, that's just because they don't know you, and a lot of people are stupid.
And after like these running laps, she rushes back to the captain's quarters to check the box again.
Yeah, I think Lise is like sweaty and yucky, and she's like, there has to be some way I can take a bath.
You can actually like dip your hand into the water surrounding the ship. The water like kind of comes up to like the railing and then like stops right there, and there's like an invisible barrier holding it from flooding the deck. But you can easily stick your hand through it.
She's like, salt water has to be better than nothing. Although sweat is kind of just salt water.
You give yourself a quick saltwater bath.
Yeah. She's like, I'm a real pirate now.
And with that, we slowly go into the morning, and everybody begins waking up. And we're going to do another poll really quick.
Damn. So many polls.
Yeah, these polls are kind of backloaded today. It's because we had a lot of stuff to resolve when we first started out. But who approaches Lise, chat? Is it Lexi or Jay? But yeah, Helga rushes back to the captain's cabin, and you can actually hear the like door of that mailbox like opening and closing rapidly.
I think before whatever this is going to happen, she says to Lexi, you might need to get that door looked at some point. I have a feeling after we leave, it's going to be really squeaking on its hinges.
It looks like Lexi's going to approach you.
Oh, great.
So you say that to her, and she says, right, I actually wanted to talk to you about next steps.
Right. Yeah, no, that's smart, probably.
And she says, how do you feel about taking on the Fortune Empress?
Oh my god, yes. God damn it. You were there when we were you there? You were there when we saw the Fortune Empress in Shantytown, and I was like, that bitch is gonna be mine. Do you remember that? Yeah, I haven't let that go. I was like, listen, maybe I'll just sink it instead and that'll be fine. But if I can either take it or sink it, my goals will have been met.
She says, righto, good. We're probably going to need Oliver for this.
Right, so what the hell happened there? You want to fill me in?
It's a bit of a long story. She recounts to you basically her experience over the past few years of having your fleet help the Caliban army, or the Caliban Navy fight off the Oran Royal Navy.
Right.
And Oliver was getting increasingly demanding, it sounds like, as things got more and more difficult. Oliver kept asking more and more favors, despite the countless ships in your fleet being destroyed. People began leaving the service of the Dread Pirate Phoenix because profits were thin and no one had heard from you for so long, and so many were being asked to help in the war effort.
Right.
And she says, I recognize that Oliver was a very tough spot. I didn't know how to say no after a while, and so I stopped responding.
I see. Well, I'm sorry. That one's kind of my bad. I don't blame you for, probably not the best way to handle it, but I understand in the circumstances. Honestly, I don't know that I would have done anything different. So, I don't blame you at all. But it's
tough.
I also understand that it was they were like that because of me. So, if you need someone to be upset with, obviously Oliver is, I think only no one can handle.
They had a lot on their plate. I don't blame them, but I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't send good people into the meat grinder.
Right, no, and you shouldn't. No, should you. I think you did the right thing. I can't say, that things are gonna go back to normal or that everything's fixed now that we are unfrozen, but I'll do what I can, and you'll have what you need.
And Lexi says, right, well, no one's quite the strategist that Oliver is. So,
right, that is.
If we're to take on the Fortune Empress, I'm going to have to face them.
Right, well, we have a mirror on the Tempest that connects to their ship, so we can easily go talk to them.
She says, I think if we can take on the Fortune Empress, that'll turn the entire tide of battle.
Right. The only thing that worries me is the Valiver. Right. And there is, I tell her about the dream I had last night. I'm like, so I don't know what that was about.
So you're not going to help the Emperor, are you?
Yeah, no, I don't think it was me. I think that I was seeing through the eyes of someone else, that happens a lot in my dreams. I don't know who it was, but, yeah.
She says, the thing is, there's still a lot of pirates out there that believe in your legend and would happily stand behind you. And there's whispers. The Chaos Crusaders are back. In fact, and everyone knows it now. That's certainly gotten out by now.
Oh, yeah. You gotta make a spectacle, right?
People know that you're back. I think we have to spring at this opportunity.
Okay, yeah.
We've got to take down the Fortune Empress and make the world know that the Dread Pirate Phoenix did it. The Sea Banshee herself.
I think that if potentially we can hit it pretty hard and to the point where maybe a lot of the cannons can't be operated, then I might have a final blow with double Kraken attack. It could possibly be like the big final.
She says,
big finale.
We can't take out all the cannons.
Well, no, I just meant like kill all the people so there aren't as many people to take to,
She says,
to fire the cannons.
you don't understand. Come here. And
okay.
she leads you to the captain's quarters. And she says, you saw how big it is, yeah?
It's big, yeah.
It's roughly, perhaps, she runs some numbers in her head and looks at the shifting tempest and says, little over 4 times the size of your ship.
God damn, it's so big. All right, so then how are you
And she says,
expecting to take it down?
100 cannons on the port and 100 on the starboard sides. 200 total.
Yeah.
And
That is a lot.
countless soldiers operating them.
Do you know what? I've got a ship full of exploding cannonballs.
She says, I think those will help, but it certainly won't be enough.
Okay, so are you just like, we need to talk to Oliver and like get that together?
We absolutely need Oliver for this.
Okay, I can, if we can just surface, I can go talk to them.
And she says, right, what I'm getting at, just keep in mind, this is considered the ship that will never sink. The ship
Yeah.
that is impossible to raid. It's slow, but it's incredibly powerful. Lise, I've worked on some of Lockjaw's ships, and once I served on one that made the mistake of sailing Orin waters. We were sunk before I realized what was happening. Our ship was Swiss cheese, Governor.
I think Lise kind of laughs and she's like, no, I understand. I really do. I understand the danger. And I understand, you know, what could happen. But I'm fucking tired of waiting around and of people telling me it's impossible. No one's ever done it before. Well, guess what? I'm gonna do it. They said that about the fucking prison too, and guess what? Yeah,
She says,
that was me.
right, well, you've got friends to back you up.
Right.
And she exits the captain's cabin with you and pulls that lever, and you guys resurface.
All right. Oh, I grabbed Cassandra too, and I'm like, oh, by the way, I had this weird dream.
You get Cassandra up to speed as you guide her with you and Lexi back to your captain's quarters.
Oh, I definitely also tell them about the letter that that Helga got.
Cassandra says, yes, yes, yes. She's like fist pumping. She's like, I knew it.
Yeah, Lisa's like, yeah, no, I'm so happy. You should have seen her this morning, Cassandra. She was running like the fastest bitch on this damn earth.
You make it back to your cabin and you look into that mirror and sure enough, you actually see into the captain's quarters on the Scarlet Shark. Oliver is in there writing some notes right now.
I start jumping and waving and yelling.
Oliver notices and walks up to the mirror and touches it to hear.
She says, "Hello, Governor."
And they say, "Oh, hello, Lisa. Lexi?"
Right, so we have some news. I found my dad.
You catch Oliver up on everything that has happened so far.
Yeah.
And I think when you guys discuss what happened with Lexi and kind of ghosting Oliver says, I'm really sorry. I had no idea. I was so caught up in, trying to get any kind of foothold that we could against Orin that I didn't even stop to think how that was affecting you, Lexi. And Lexi is having a hard time making eye contact.
I think Elise kind of steps in and says, "It's been a hard 5 years. And that's no one's fault but mine. So."
And Lexi speaks up and says, "You couldn't have helped it. If anything, we should have held things together till you got back." And she says, "I'm sorry I disappeared, Oliver." And Oliver says, "No, I'm sorry that I got so caught up in the war that I didn't check in on you more, and I wasn't more careful, and I've made a lot of mistakes through all this." And there's an awkward silence.
She says, "Well, here's one thing we can do." I think she kind of crosses her arms and goes, "So, Oliver, how do you feel about sinking the Fortune Empress?"
And they say, "Doing what now?"
I think she just looks at Lexi.
And Lexi says, "Yeah, so I just figured if there was ever a time, we've got two really strong ships, and one of the world's most brilliant strategists, and perhaps
the world's most hottest pirate couple. Yeah."
Cassandra elbows you when you say that.
She says, "Ow, I'm helping."
And Oliver says, "That's maybe the most crazy thing you've ever said, both of you."
What? You don't think me and Cassandra are the hottest pirate couple?
No, not that. The sinking the Fortune Empress thing.
So you do think that me and Cassandra...
I'm not going to answer that question.
Well, what the fuck, Oliver? You don't think? She starts to get worked up about this and then goes, "Okay, all right, it's not the time, but we will talk about this later."
And they say, Lexi, you told her how many cannons there are, right?
Fuck the cannons, Oliver. We broke out of and into the fucking prison that everybody told me was impenetrable and shit, and I did that.
Cassandra actually, after you say that, puts her hand over your mouth and then says, "Oliver, let's be real. Lisa's made up her mind. She's gonna do it now." And Oliver says, "Yeah, I guess you're right."
She goes, she tries to remove Cassandra's hand out of the way. She goes, "Listen, it's a smart idea, and I think we should do it."
She covers your mouth and she says, "She doesn't think it's a smart idea. She just really wants to do it."
Don't stop on my dreams, Oliver. Don't stop on my dreams.
And Lexi chimes in and says, "And think about it. You need ships, don't you, Oliver?" if the legend returns, there'll be ships. There'll be motivation.
I can get you ships. Look, I know that for 5 years you've had to work without me and all of the chaos that comes with the Chaos Crusaders. I understand that, but it's time to get back into the swing of things. Come on, right?
With me! She wasn't. Lexi wasn't working with me, and that's what the problem was.
We broke it. We broke into Orin. We patronized the Knight Commander. We broke into the prison that everybody told me I couldn't break into.
Hey, Oliver, can you hear me as well? You were working with me. That's what the problem was.
So really, what we have to do is just get back into the swing of things, and you have to accept.
Tell them about me. Tell them about me, Lise.
I think she's like moving her hand so that it's like going through Bedlam in the hopes that he will go away.
Ow, ow, ow! That's my gallbladder!
So like she's just like, she's not saying anything to anyone else, but she's doing this while she's talking.
As your hand is moving, one of the times it moves like near his chest region, and as your hand moves out, his heart comes out with your hand. And he goes, my heart!
She goes, wow, that's the second time that's happened. You've got to stop doing that.
And the heart isn't like beating like a heartbeat, it's beating like the dun 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 song.
She's like, wow, that really is like your whole thing, huh?
And he says, my heart! And like scrambles on the floor for his heart.
She's like, but yeah, so anyway, I think what we need to do now is collectively accept the chaos that is our reality and just let it happen, Oliver, right? Just let it happen. Accept it.
And Oliver says, well, if we really have to do this, and you start seeing like behind Oliver's eyes, the like wheels begin turning, and they say, I might have a way we could tackle it.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to hear. All right, start talking.
They say, well, the first thing you should know is there's a reason the Fortune Empress is the biggest ship ever made. Because it really shouldn't be possible to be that big.
It's very big.
It's over 450 feet long.
It's got 200 cannons. Like, that doesn't seem right.
That's right. 3 rows of cannons, and then the cannons on the top deck. It looks like just thorns on the ship at that point.
So you're saying it's like a magic ship, or what are we getting at?
I mean, you've seen it. And you think back to when you saw the ship all those years ago. The wood did kind of look pale. It was a very like silver and gold like plated ship, but all the wood was like this like pale like bluish color. And they say that's because it's not made from normal wood. It's made
magic
from the
wood?
It's made from the blue trees from the Cerulean Circle.
Oh, there were a lot of blue trees.
They say
those are elven trees, right?
Yes. Now the thing to keep in mind is that means it's incredibly strong. That wood is simultaneously very light but very dense. And it's gonna be tough to crack that hull. I don't think we go for the hull at all.
But is it fireproof?
I'm not personally sure.
Okay, so where do we go for, if not the hull?
I think we go for the masts. Now,
right, I've done that before, yeah.
The problem is, you're not going to be able to go for the masts before it shreds you to bits with its cannons. However, the Fortune Empress has the same weakness that most ships do. Its backside, its stern, isn't really heavily guarded. In fact,
no,
if I'm recalling correctly, it just has 2 lone cannons back there.
So if we sneak up on it, we distract in the front with the Tempest, while the Dredgenaut comes in from behind?
Sort of. I'm thinking send the Dredgenaut behind it first, and while the
Okay.
Dredgenaut's distracting it,
Oh, then we come in. Because
the
while they're
shifting
busy,
tempest
like,
gets in.
while they're trying to turn around, be like, what the fuck? They turn around and then we're there, and then they're still turned around and we're like, fuck you. Smart.
And they say, because Lexi, how many cannons does the Dredgenaut have? And Lexi chimes in with about 10.
10?
And Oliver says, right, it's a smaller ship, and because of that, doesn't have quite as much firepower. However, it's fast and it's sneaky.
I can give you some of my exploding cannons. That should help.
And Oliver says, right, it's fast, it's sneaky, and because of that, you should get behind them, distract them, and the shifting tempest can get in closer. The sooner we can destroy those masts, and more importantly, destroy the helm, the better. If we can destroy the helm, that ship won't be capable of turning, and then we can lurk behind them in their blind spot. They'll still have cannons on us, but only 2.
Right, and what about the Tempest while all of this is happening?
Hopefully they will be distracted trying to face the Dredgenaut. The Tempest
Right,
needs
but-
to get in toward the Fortune Empress's backside.
Right, so what I'm saying is, when we get there, and we are, we hit them, we destroy the masts, we destroy the helm, their cannons are still working.
Yes, but if they can't turn,
Oh, true. Okay, smart.
what I'm thinking is have the Dredgenaut come in and stay in their blind spot while they turn to face it. If we can get them turned around, then the shifting tempest can sail in very easily. The other thing to keep in mind is that this is a very large ship. And so while there are 100 cannons on both port and starboard, only so many of them can be pointed in your direction at a time.
Right.
I've actually... Give me 1 second. They run back to their desk and pull out a diagram they have. They said, I actually had a diagram commissioned a while back. If you look here, and they hold it up, they say, there's actually kind of 3 effective firing locations on both port and starboard. There's the midsection where roughly 50 cannons can hit you. There's sort of the front section that's at a 45-degree angle, roughly, and 25 cannons can hit you from there. And then there's the back angle, slightly at a 45-degree angle, where those cannons can hit you. So you're never truly in danger of all 100 hitting you at once. And if you can, try to avoid the midsection.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. Can we rendezvous before we meet up there? And can I give Fuse a bunch of these cannons and he can strap a bunch of them together like he did before?
They say, it's funny you should mention that, because ever since we got Fuse back, and ever since he had that experience, he's been studying our cannons closer. And I think we could get a ton of cannons on your ship primed and ready to fire. Your ship has what, 40 cannons total?
Yeah, it's pretty big.
20 on port and starboard?
Yeah.
So, theoretically, he could prime all 40 to fire, and one person could just run down the line and flip the switch to fire all of them.
Nice. Hell yeah. All right. Let's do that. Absolutely. And there are a couple of other ideas that I have. However, I have to ask other people about them. I pull out the Shifting Tempest book and I go, give me 1 second. And I write down, hypothetically.
Okay.
Tempest. Hypothetically. How possible would it be for you to take a bite out of a ship while there are people on you and also said ship?
Those words disappear, and then the words, I dislike revealing myself to people, appear.
What if I give you a bunch of ships to eat as payment?
Those words disappear, and the words, I still would prefer not to, appear. And then those words disappear, and then the words, what ship, appear.
I go, do you remember when we were escaping that prison and there was the big scary ship that we zoomed past? The Fortune Emperors?
Those words disappear, and then the words, it smelled delicious, appear.
I go, oh, it's made of magical wood. Do you think that would hurt you?
Those words disappear, and then the words, I don't know, appear.
Before I respond, I look up and I go, does anybody know if those magical trees would, hurt if a mimic ate them?
Everyone stares at you confused.
Do you think that those trees would be bad for a mimic to eat because they're magical?
And Cassandra pipes in and says, no, we heard you. It's just, why do you think we're experts on mimic diets?
Nobody thinks that it would be okay. And I write, okay. Is it possible for you to take a bite and see possibly if it is a good idea to take more bites out of it?
Those words disappear, and the words, I may be willing to take one bite, appear.
Okay. All right. I would love you for the rest of time and all of eternity if you did. And if it hurts you, I will spend the rest of my life making it up to you.
Those words disappear. And then the words, I am still working to understand love, appear on the page.
And she writes, it's okay. It's a weird concept. Just know that you are appreciated and cared for.
And those words disappear, and then the words, do I love you, appear.
That's for you to decide, my friend. Only you can figure that out.
Those words disappear, and then I do not know.
She goes, well, there's no rush to decide. You think on it.
Those words disappear, and then okay.
All right. I snap the book shut and I go, okay. The Tempest is possibly interested in taking a bite out of the Fortune Empress.
And then Oliver speaks up and says, wait a second. Hang on. And you see those wheels turning even more, and they say, I think this might be the perfect opportunity to kill two birds with one stone.
What if we come up and the Tempest bites the back of the ship off?
They say, yeah, that would be great. Lise, you said you wanted to get to South Azure.
I did?
To investigate the Valiver?
Oh, yes, the warehouses and the fucking Valiver. Yeah, yes.
If the Fortune Empress is destroyed, you guys could probably make a hasty exit on the Dredgenaut. And they're going to be so focused on the attack on the Fortune Empress no one in Azure's gonna notice if some random boat docks in South Azure.
So where does the Tempest go?
I mean, you can control it with your book, right?
Well, oh yeah, I guess I could just tell it to run away. Okay, yeah. Sounds good. So we hit the Empress and then we head to South Azure?
I think that'd be a good idea. No one's gonna be looking for the Dredgenaut. They all only know what the Shifting Tempest looks like.
Shifting Tempest looks like, yeah. We should possibly look into getting the Shifting Tempest like a new look, because it's kind of not like, it's great when somebody recognizes your ship, but it's not great when your enemies recognize your ship. Like, it's a scare tactic, yes, but not as a like, oh, like they're gonna come attack us now, you know? Anyway, that's not important right now. Yeah, this sounds awesome and fun, and if anyone else dies, I'll probably cry for the rest of my life. So let's prepare, shall we? All right. Everyone understands the risks, okay? Yeah.
And you all spend the next hour or so strategizing how you are going to attack the Fortune Empress.